pool of $1,500, which is absolutely amazing. But then there is a prize pool for the runner-up as well. Then the third team will also get $250. Fourth spot will get $100. Fifth will get $50, and then we have the most valuable player coming up with $50. So maybe you can go shopping, have a nice dinner with such amount of money. And if your team is in their boot camp, they can maybe go out, have shopping with those $700, and everyone will buy something. You'll still be left with a couple of bucks to eat and drink. But yeah, moving onwards, let's see who is gonna get this prize pool. But before that, we have to see our 9 more. We have to find our 9 more contenders for the grand finals.
Yeah, and well, there we have it. The remaining 9 squads that are going to be joining us on the battlefield here as well. Of course, if all these names look familiar, it's because you saw them yesterday, right? So the teams that placed in between that 10th to 27th place are going to be stepping in. Unfortunately, there's some reason why we can't have the EWC teams here. So we are going to be moving on with the teams that placed in between 10th and 27th. That will still keep us on the glorious 18 squads that are going to be duking out to see who will be allowed that opportunity to move on forward. But this is actually quite interesting because now I want to see those teams that really stepped up at the end of yesterday, right? For instance, Halal Axatron, that really came in clutch yesterday. I want to see what they're going to be bringing into the day here. Are they going to try and keep that heat up? Are they going to try and maybe improve on the overall performances that we've seen so far? Or could we see a few contenders looking to rise up? Could this be the opportunity for Voin Donkey maybe to establish a dominant position on the overall rankings?
I mean, talking about the teams who really stepped up in the last matches, it's Skyforce who needs to be mentioned alongside Team Voin Donkeys. If you talk about the last chicken dinner, Voin Donkeys, they did lose 3 players and they still managed to get a chicken dinner with only 1 player standing. So yeah, I mean, these are some names: Skyforce, Voin Donkeys, Team Nexori, and side by side Halal Exitron, the team who stepped up back time. They were unable to get any good fights, and once they get things going for themselves, they just dominated. And in one match, yes, they did dominate, but after that they were struggling once again. But going onwards, we'll talk about the team rosters. We have Team 141, Eagles, Zibian, Kitan, a couple of V's, Sirius, and Voltrix will be playing from here, from this team. And then we have A1 Esports, Sinister, CJ Boy, Rowdy, Deadstorm, Flash. 2 of the players are new men joining in A1 Esports, and this recent change is definitely, giving a lot of troubles to A1 Esports. They need some time to adjust and improve their synergy.
Yeah, the opportunity will be there for a lot of that improvement to potentially make its way on through. Of course, moving on to the next spread, it is going to be Champions Esports, DRS, Xavier, and then, of course, the players then coming through there from Halal Axatron. But I'm curious to see whether or not Atomic is going to come rocking up with that S12K again and go push a few players in the face, see if they can drop them down and get those eliminations secured. Yeah. DRS, also there's that opportunity to see a crazy improvement. We did see Cyclone, of course, yesterday really popping off, right? Kicking up a storm and really carrying that torch for their squad. Xavier in the playoffs, super aggressive. We didn't see many placement points coming their way. Of course, they had 61 eliminations and only 6 placements. So maybe they are going to look to capitalize on that same level of aggression, but they're adding the placement points into that as well. And of course, here is page number 3, as we have Nexary, we've got Regicide on here, RRQ, Ryu, and then of course, we've got Skyforce with Godless, Icy, Sunshir, Riley, and Relo representing that side as well. Also, Nexary actually, right, Demo, coming through with the cards, getting 3 players, back to back, running them down over on Miramar yesterday. That was also quite exciting and a little bit funny to see.
Absolutely. But next esports, let's see what's their plan of action, because in previous matches they did struggle. They missed one of their matches as well. So talking about those teams who missed their matches, it's not just Nexary who missed one of their matches. It's Champions Esports who had 30 points in 9 matches. So they missed 3 matches. Maybe they could have played them and qualify for the next stage. But now that they're here, in this entire survival chance. In fact, last chance, we can say it's for the survival of the teams to the grand finals. But moving onwards, we have T2K alongside Team Talon Esports, one of those teams we were looking forward to. We really wanted Team T2K to qualify directly. We did really wanted Team Talon Esports to qualify, but yeah, they also struggled in early on fights alongside, those rotations were not up to that mark. But let's see how they are going to come up with some different plan. Then we have Team Triber Messi, another very aggressive name, Rig, Jelta. We used to see them in DRS. Now that they're here in Triber Messi, let's see how. Alongside Gyante, we used to see Delta, Gyante, and no, Rig was not here. Rig was in T2K, and now he's in Triber Messi. So yeah. So these recent changes are also hurting another team, that is Team Triber Messi. But let's see how well are they going to perform here. Then we have Vikings Sports, another team who were good in some fights, and another they were not up to that mark. And Superman was also doing some crazy things.
Yeah, well, if Tribe Messi wants to come in with a back-to-back victory, this is going to be the opportunity for them to try and get that repeat season victory. But yeah, Vikings, Superman, really looking forward to that. Voin Donkey, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on them to see what they can bring on through. And hey, there we have it. A nice little change coming into the last chance. We are going to be starting off with Rondo before heading into the rest of the day, which is going to be a triple dose of Miramar and 2 Erangales squeeze in there as well. So, hey, this is going to be an exciting day because we've not yet seen Rondo in the season. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these teams are going to be looking to keep it. I'm curious, do you think the recall is going to be there?
Yep, I think it is gonna be there because the recall is in esports, it's in PMS also. It has to be here as well because these tournaments are a practice. These tournaments, are a litmus test for you. So you practice here up against those PMSLs or those PM WC teams. So once again, Rondo is gonna be there, and the recall is definitely gonna be here too. Side by side, there's one thing that I want to mention, and that is the amount of the kind of gameplay teams will bring here, the amount of elimination numbers they will try to get, because with the recalls you have an opportunity to have draw fights and still manage to get some elimination points and stay alive, go out from that fight after keeping 4 of your players alive, because even if you lose 2 to 3 players, you can still recall, you can still have your 4 players with the recall option. So maybe some heavy elimination numbers gameplays are going to be there side by side. It is going to be really challenging for us casters to see the kill feed and read it, because it's going to go so fast.
But so what you're telling me is that we could see teams getting more than 20 eliminations quite comfortably.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They have the recall option available. They can go all in.
I get it. It's like, all right, cool. I need to go mentally prepare. I need to go find a seatbelt or something to strap myself into my seat to make sure that I'm ready for what is about to come through. Because, all right, so playoffs, they were crazy enough already as is, right? As I mentioned, we saw a few teams really capitalizing on aggression. But now with Rondo coming into the mix, this is going to take it to an almost an absurd level, right? Because the opportunity, the potential for those crazy kill, elimination games to come through is going to be there. So I'm actually super excited, right? I'm excited to see just how crazy it's going to be here.
Absolutely. We used to see teams, in drought fights where they used to lose 2 to 3 players. I mean, if there's Pekao area, let's just say there's Pekao area, someone lands there, 3 teams lands there. One of them will eliminate, both the teams will get 8 elimination points, but they will lose their players in the process. And that's where the Rondo recall comes in. You can get out of a fight. You have 8 elimination points. Maybe 1 or 2 players are standing. You can go to the recall site, call the other 2 players back, and then dominate once again. So yeah, this is the opportunity for you. The recall option can definitely allow you to have more than 18 or 20 elimination points, but that depends on you, how you use it. That depends on the team. How are they gonna use the recall option? So let's wait. Let's find out in a few minutes. The Rondo map is gonna start, and side by side, there's one more thing. Teams used to have drop clashes if they are, if they want to dethrone someone from the points table. Like, let's just say it's the grand finals, it's the last day, there's one team on the top, there's another on the second spot. now that they know that the recall option is there, they will go to their drop and have that drop clash, because even if they lose 3 players, maybe they can send 3 players to the drop and 1 player to the recall site.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
those
that's
3 players
definitely a stretch.
those 3 players can eliminate the entire team. So yeah, this is going to be, very fun to watch. And let's see how teams are already crazy, as you mentioned, and let's see how crazy can they go with it.
Because so already what comes to my mind is when I'm thinking of the recall is send out 3 players as opposed to 4, right? Don't send out the full squad. But so you just recycle them. So they go out, they fight, they just come back and you go again, right? So the drop clashes that you're talking about, it's like if at first you don't succeed, just recall, come back and try again.
Yeah, maybe you can try again, or even if you eliminate 2 to 3 players, you have 2 to 3 elimination points. You can recall your players, and then you can go and fight someone else. So it will give you a head start. It will give you a kick start. So all these things can really come in handy. And let's see how the teams are going to use it, because we know that teams can be very unique, more than we think. Yes, we are here trying to, find those possibilities. What are the teams going to do? But maybe someone will come with another crazy plan and surprise us casters and everyone who is watching. But let's see. Only time is gonna tell. This is Lenovo Asia Showdown season 4. I'm sorry. Prize pool is $1,500, which is a really good prize pool. We were about to have esports World Cup teams, but they are not here because they were probably traveling. They're busy going back to their homes. They have enough prize pool now. They're counting their money that they got in the esports World Cup. So maybe that's another reason, because esports World Cup, the prize was $3 million for all the teams, and whoever, like every participant, they managed to get more than $100,000. So they're just counting their money for now.
yeah. I mean, I would too, right? I would too, but yeah, I think the addition of Rondo into the esports scene with that recall coming through is going to be absolutely crazy. But so that makes me think of a strategy. It's like when you see a full squad approaching you, take down everybody but 1. So don't go for a squad wipe, right? Just take out 3, because then they can recall, and then you can then delete the entirety of the squad, right? So you get 7 elims out of 1 team.
Absolutely, but side by side, it's like the Venom movie where your symbiote can, regenerate and have the entire body. Your symbiote can have the entire team once again. If you want to eliminate someone, you have to make sure that you eliminate, because at one point it is good for you that you have a recall, but you gotta watch out because the other teams also have a recall. So you have to eliminate all 4 players. If you manage to eliminate 3 and the 4th one is not there, he's missing, you'll be like, we tried our best, but still one of them, he's not here. We are unable to find him. He's gonna just go and recall his teammates. It's not good for us. We managed to get 2 elimination points, but we did not get the job done. So yeah, recalls can come in handy in many possible ways. Only time is gonna tell what's gonna happen. But I think we need to have a short break. If we have any delays, let's confirm with the production. Do we have a break, or are we going towards the match? Hello? Do we have a break? Okay. It's gonna start in a few minutes. DK, what?
So I think there's 2 big major strategies to play out here, right? If you want to get the winner chicken dinner, right? Yes, immediate squad wipe, take down all 4 players all in one go. Boom, job done, right? 1 less team to worry about. You're that much closer to getting the winner chicken dinner. But if you want points, take down 3 of the 4 and not all 4, because then you can get 7 elims and not just 4, right? Because 7 is a little bit better than 4, but it also, you run the risk of that team now doubling down on you, and you then becoming their 4 points as opposed to you getting 3 extra points on top of that. So I'm excited to see the different strategies that these teams will come up with here. I'm sure they are going to be super, super creative with that. And I'm also almost convinced that, even the wildest thing that I can think of, teams would laugh at that and say, it's like, you don't even know what's coming. You'll see. Right. So I'm pretty convinced of that.
Okay, there's one thing that is the wildest thing that I can think of. But if you really allow me, I can share it with you. There are 2 teams from Bangladesh. Let's just not give their example. They will probably mind it. Let's just say there are 2 teams from Pakistan, because I'm from Pakistan, so I can give the example. There's two teams for Pakistan. One of the teams need 4 to 5 points to qualify. Like there are some other event where a team needs 3 points to qualify, 4 points to qualify. So now what's gonna happen? The team A is gonna say, Team B, please come to our drop. Kill 3 players. Do not kill the 4th one. Leave. Get your 3 points. Get your 3 points and then leave. We will recall our players. What do you think about this, DK? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't really know if that is that would probably be a frowned upon strategy to use, and if you get found out, good luck, because you might lose more than just the few points that you could have had potentially.
Not a halal way to get points.
No, definitely not a halal way to get points. Yeah, and that's no reference to the team. It's just like it's definitely not the.
Absolutely, you know they're my brothers.
To get it done.
They're my brothers. You know, there's this thing about being of the same. You know, if you have something in common, you can definitely point them out as well, and they don't even mind because they okay, he's our brother. He's our Muslim brother. He's not gonna say anything about us. So moving onwards, let's see what's gonna happen. Teams can maybe find some other way, some other haram way to get points. But you know, you never know what our team's gonna do with this big opportunity, and it's also gonna change the first. It is gonna impact the entire competitive structure in one possible way. Thank God we do not have 2 random maps. Thank God we have only 1 random map. We never know that after PNGC they will probably remove it, or maybe they will just continue. Maybe they'll just add recall in every map. They will add recalls in Erangel and Miramars.
Yeah, I mean this could be esports PUBG competitive changing right here with the addition of rondos. Like the days of like, they came in with 20 elims, they're so awesome. Now it's like, yeah, they got 20 elims, it's okay, it's not it's cool. Can they get 40? That's the big question, right? So you could have teams go from the bottom of the standings right to the top of the board, and not even on the first day, but on the last day, because if Rondo comes into play, that could really shake things up quite a bit. So I think one of the strategies could be like to try and play as an aggressive game as you can when Rondo comes around, so that you have 5 other games to try and patch up whatever needs to be fixed to ensure that you get to where you want to be. So I think if teams walk out of Rondo and they don't have a single point, they really did something wrong, or they were sleeping. One of the two. I don't know. I'd go for the sleeping part maybe, but because I can't see how you can't get a point when there's so many opportunities to do exactly
you have 2 lives. It's like having 2 lives in one match. If you get a little bit of a little bit more confident and side by side, if you have a plan, if you go with the plan, you execute it, you will have 2 lives. And maybe it's not gonna happen. Maybe the team who will get 0 points, the sleepy team, will be the unluckiest team as well, because the points table is gonna go so far away from you if you lose the first match, if you don't get any points. So you gotta watch out, you gotta be careful. Drop clashes are there, but you have to make sure that if you take drop clashes, you keep one of your player away on that recall side, from where if you get eliminated, that player calls you back. Side by side, there are disadvantages because it's a 3v4 situation. It's never going to be easy for you. Yes, there is one thing that if your players are knocked out, you can probably, like, if they're knocked out in enemy territory, you can throw a grenade and eliminate them, because there's one player who is on the recall side, and it's better than getting eliminated from your opponent's hand. Side by side, there's one thing that the teammates are not gonna do, like the opponents are not gonna do. They will not finish you. Even if they knock you out, they will not finish you. So you don't get recalled as quickly as you can.
Yeah. But so this is one of those instances. Normally you would say, don't finish me, right? But now you say, please finish me, please finish me.
So I could come back. It's changing everything. Yeah, Rondo is changing everything. But let's wait for the first match. It's taking more than usual. I think the teams are joining and they're maybe having their breakfast. Although it's not the right time to have your breakfast. It's time for brunch or lunch maybe in some of the countries of the world. But let's wait. Let's wait for some players who were not sleeping early last night. So maybe they'll just take their time to join the lobby.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be joining us soon. But I think also looking at that triple dose of Murmur that we have coming through, it would be a great opportunity for the teams that have been doing really good on Murmur. I think we could see them maybe looking to break away a little bit with regards to points, right? Yes, we don't have many of those, but there's still an opportunity.
Do we have 3 Miramars or 3 Wrangles?
Yes, 3 Miramars and 2 Erangels.
We should have 3 Wrangles because the official rotation says 3 Wrangles. I think I need to confirm. I need to double check if it's 3 Wrangles or 3 Miramars. I think it's 3 Wrangles. Wait. Let me check. Let me check the official one. Where is it?
While you check that, we are hopping straight into match number 1. The wait is over. And here we go. We are going to be starting all the way up in the north, heading down towards that southern side. So, yeah, I'm curious as to where the zone is going to go. Rondo is always so interesting to watch because, there's a lot of open flat spaces. So you really got to be careful with how you rotate through and how you move up. But the pressure is going to be there. So I'm excited for these teams to get the ball going. And, yep, if you've missed it, recalls are in play. So get ready for a very, very sweaty Rondo to make its way onto the screen.
Absolutely, but there are no 2 flight paths. Somebody told me that on Rondo Esports, you will have 2 flight paths going.
It depends on
against each other.
There is sometimes is 2, but it depends on where it comes from. So if it was, maybe we'll see it in the next one, which will be only coming up again tomorrow. But yeah, there could be those 2 depending on where the flight path to shoot decides to go. Ooh, there we go. We've got the zone.
Yep, we got the zone, and zone is moving towards the northeastern side. There's a lot of play area here alongside that water area where you will be very careful. You should be careful while rotating towards the other side. But side by side, the main city in the circle, it's the track area. But wait a second, some early on drop clashes are going on. Skyforce Riley gets taken down by bandits, and 3 teams are here, I guess. And what's the place? Ongshang something. I'm not very familiar of. I am not familiar with the places of Rondo, but Godless comes in with a beautiful grenade, takes 1 player down. It's a 1v1 trade on both sides, and a 3v3 situation where Team Skyforce is looking more promising, but Bandit coming up against Skyforce, not a good idea. Another player goes down, and now they're left with the last 2 players.
For now, the last 2. For now. Let's see. So this is the opportunity for Veins and Puzzle to either go for the res or maybe sacrifice a player and then go for that recall. Ooh. All right, Skyforce, they're not going to be holding back. They are going to be looking to clean it up as they now come pushing on forward. Godless already coming through with that grenade elimination. The pressure is on here. Let's see whether or not Bandits are going to be able to clutch this one up. Puzzle holding on the back end. Riley now looking to just clear it up, moving through. They know that there's got to be someone somewhere, but it's not going to be an easy find just yet. Let's see now. Ooh, come on. Puzzle. Bandit, you can do it. Riley, just there. I mean, Skyforce, 3 eliminations up already. Are they going to be able to make it 4? Or will it be 7? Ooh, there we go. Sanchira's down. All right, Riley super low in the health. Skyforce got to be very cautious, but there we go. So that is not going to be a recall coming through for Bandit as they will get taken right on down. So Skyforce, 4 eliminations up and sending the first team back.
Absolutely, Skyforce sending the entire team back home. Bandit is the unlucky team that we were talking about previously, that there is going to be 1 or 2 teams with 0 points or maybe 1 point, and there are no recall option available for them. But side by side, it's team Tribor Messi coming up against a C1, and one of the players eliminated. C1 managed to fall back, and now they have recall for themselves. And now they can recall their teammate back. This is the good thing about, the recall option. You can have your entire squad back if you're not eliminated, if 1 or 2 players are eliminated side by side. Skyforce, they lost 1 player, and they can recall him. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. You just need to win the fight. Even if you lose 2 or 3 players, you can just go on the recall side, call them back, be happy about it.
It might be difficult to win the fight, but I think, winning the war is going to be the big thing. Ooh, speaking about which, though, it is going to be the electric Zona coming here into the Neox factory. So it does change things up a little bit. At least 1-for-1, not going to get contested just yet. If we look over towards, well, the other side of factory, of course, is even more rotations now, as it is Tribe Eremacy looking to get themselves situated as they take that southern approach. But will there be any contestation along the way? I don't quite know because...
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just confirmed from the official announcement, it's 3 Wrangles. It should be 3 Wrangles, not 3 Miramars. So yeah, the confirmation from production is going to come in a few minutes, but P2K,
well, there we have it.
Yeah, not into any early on skirmish. You know, there are some teams who are like, yeah, we know there's a recall option available, but we just don't want to, you know, change our plans accordingly. We just want to be careful. We just want to stay away from all the fights, because it can happen with you in other maps as well. Like if you get used to a free call option, maybe on the map of Erangel, on the map of Miramar, you'll get eliminated. You'll be asking your teammate for the recall, and they're gonna be like, no, it's not available in this map. Like, wait a second, before recalling your teammate, you are fighting against A6i. Not a good idea. Not A6i, AST. But now Driver Messi gets eliminated. What's going on?
Wow, that is gonna be an interesting one. Yeah. What a way to play the upset.
Absolutely brilliant. What a play by Team C1 Esports. It was a 3v4 situation. We thought for a second that they will find a little bit of, they will find it difficult to eliminate Team Triber Messi, but the push was not great by Triber Messi. They were out in the open, and Team C1 realized that Kinu came up with a 1v2, and alongside another teammate, it was probably a 2v4 because 2 of the teammates had 2 elimination points. But side by side, I just confirmed with the production that we will have 3 Wrangles. We will not have 3 Miramars. So yeah, that's good news for all the Miramar Wrangle lovers. See, A1 Esports, CJ Boy, what is he trying to do? Is he farming? Is there any future?
Don't know. I don't know. Maybe he saw some grapes or something and he's like, ooh, mine. And then, just making sure that they pick up everything. But yeah, Regicide also not necessarily in a position where they need to worry about all too much. They are going to be finding themselves in a somewhat decent angle here. I'm curious as to where this second stage is going to take us as soon as it moves in. Skyforce again feeling the heat now, bumping into Talon as the blue is going to be moving up. So many squads have to start that journey. They still have a minute left on the clock before the blue is going to start to hit. And fortunately, it is stage number 1, so it's not going to be doing too much damage, but it will be making its way in here. So let's see where these teams choose to get themselves situated. I think Test Track is probably going to be a very hot spot moving through the remainder of this phase.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to make sure that you jump into the zone quickly. On the other side, R3G, they're fighting with this zone because the zone is trying to chase them down. The blue is trying to chase them down. And there's one thing about R3G, they try to stay away. They try to keep themselves away from all the trouble in the beginning fights because they know that the team plays good in the lost zones. But once they get there, they get good elimination points. And before that, if they indulge themselves into early on a rotational fight, if they are not in a formation, they probably, like, if talk about the percentage, it will be an 80-20 percentage for them to win, and for them to lose, actually, because most of the times they lose their rotational fights. But talking about the fights, it's MVKE coming up against Skyforce, I guess. But I see why. You gotta stay alive because you have to go back and recall your teammates.
Let's see now. It's going to be Viper Esports feeling a little bit of the heat, or Vampire rather. Now, I did the opposite. Yesterday, you called Viper Vampire. Now I'm calling Vampire Viper. All right, either which way, it is going to be Vampire Esports holding nice and steady here. Just on the edge of the building. It's going to be Icy trying to dance around. Doesn't want to fall down just yet. But are they going to be able to make it out? The zone is going to be closing up in the next few moments yet again, and that is it. Skyforce, down they go. 4 eliminations to their name. So not a bad start to the day here, but definitely would like to capitalize on those placement points as well. So yeah, maybe we'll see them have a bit of an opportunity coming into the remaining games of the day. But so far, Champions looking pretty good. 4 eliminations. Vampire Esports, they've got 1, and this is what, Adder or I don't know which way around to go for that, but hey, it is
Dur.
what it is. Yeah.
Dur. I don't know. I
They need
also
a
don't
player
know.
called as well, because there is other, right? Because we got Dur and so it's other, the other one.
I mean, players are coming up with challenging names, so casters improve their English, and that's just they just test our patience and side by side, test our skills. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, today I'm gonna name myself or something so difficult, so the casters, they suffer. I don't know why do they come up with such a plan, but Pink Man, a cute name, a pooky name here, alongside Boz E, a new player coming in with Roshan. There was a team named Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, Player 4. So whenever they were taking someone down, their opponents were getting that kill feed, or maybe if you see the kill feed the other way, if you're in a slot, it will be like Player 1 knocked down Player 3. So yeah. It's always confusing, but players they always manage to find a unique way.
Yeah. Very creative. Very creative. We got to give them that. There's not much that we can fault on that front. We are going to be looking at that zone as well, as the Blues are going to be making a slow and steady closure. Of course, it has to cover an insane amount of ground to make it all the way to where it could take us into the next stage. But I think Test Track and even Neox Factory, those are usually very hot spots if you just play the game normally, right? Not even competitive side, just the normal side of PUBG. But I'm curious as to where these teams are going to look to get themselves situated. Vampire, though, they're going to be looking to play in from the edge of zone. So yeah, A1 having a little bit of a tough time rotating up. Speaking about the factory, here it is. The zone has shifted and it's moved a little bit further down. So this now takes this match in a completely different direction. I mean, the Dunching was within the zone. Now it's not going to be in there. Even the factory just on the outskirts. So it takes us from somewhere interesting to somewhere super challenging now for the squads.
Absolutely, but look at this. Next Sports is coming up against Team MVK Knight. They were on the last man standing. Did they recall their players? I guess they did recall their players, and now Vikings are playing with 3 players, and on the other side it's Apex, the last man standing. You gotta find a way out from this fight. You have to hop on your vehicle and then go back to the recall side, and on the other side it's RRQ coming up against Team Talon Esports, and what a beautiful grenade by Johan. Once again, Johan proving his gun skills side by side, utility skills as well. But this time it's 1v1. And Nugget. Is it Nugget? Yeah, Nugget.
Yeah, Nuga.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Nuga, no T.
Nuga. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Nuga.
Yeah.
Nuga coming up against.
It's the squishy sweet.
Is it a sweet?
Yeah, it's a sweet.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
soft.
brilliant.
You can just bite right into it. Yeah.
Players are very, very creative, but yeah, RQ, they won their fight. They have 3 elimination points side by side. They also have to hop on their vehicles and go to the recall site. But Halal Exitron, 4-man standing, no elimination point. They are gatekeeping a place where Team Vampire wants to come, but all falls back because he realized that Halal Exitron, they have a different plan today. It's a 4v4 situation, and both the teams are on the edges of the zone, comfortably holding on to the drop locations. But R3G versus RRQ, both the R's are coming up against each other, and RRQ, they just got third partied over here, and R3G will win this fight, and they have 4 elimination points now. But they gotta watch out. There's A1 Esports on the backside, and they are also trying to do a third party.
Somehow Rowdy always manages to survive. I've noticed that over the past few days, right? Rowdy is always just lurking close to other players for some reason, and somehow miraculously, survives. We did see Rowdy also making it into a few super late stages, I believe yesterday or the day before. Flash, though, let's see what is going to come through here. Will we see Flash being able to find one of those eliminations? The zone is going to close on up, and that will take us straight into stage number 4. The pressure continues to build. Roshan, though, not going to be stopping there. Does find one of the Vikings. Down they go. And see where the zone takes us. As 4 is about to pop. Is it going to be an easy one? Could 1-for-1 maybe get zone blessed? Almost. It is going to be Champions and DRS. in a very good position. This waterway is always so challenging because depending on where you sit, the opponents can easily spot you.
Absolutely, but side by side, there's going to be a possible fight. Look at this. On the northern side, it's Vova LC up against D2K because both the teams are going to find each other. But here, R3T versus 4 Vikings. In fact, Vikings is going to happen where R3T is trying to throw some grenades, and brilliant grenade comes in from Roshan's side. He takes down Superman, and now 2 of the more challenges are left behind. They need to revive new players side by side. Pinkman is coming in on the vehicle, and he's going to slam, and he's going to go all in. Look at this. What's going to happen? And he goes towards another spot, and he got spotted as well by Won't, and now R3G, they have the upper hand advantage in this fight. It's a 3v2 situation for them.
Well, let's see. Will they have the odds in their favor? So far, it is going to be Roshani getting taken right on John. Break now looking to crack the jar wide open. Vazi waiting on the outskirts here, just trying to ride the storm, but unfortunately is not going to be able to do all too much with it. Pinkman now going in for the res. But Wundt could definitely look to close this one up. Break cooking up an A, getting ready to let it loose. Oh, Pinkman, unfortunately, going to have to pack their bags and join their team as they all go right back. And now we've got 11 squads remaining. And so many teams still fighting it out, trying to see if they can secure some points, get some eliminations to move through at the end of this first game.
Absolutely, even esports playing beautifully once again. They're in this fight where they're trying to survive, but the last 2 players are here, and as you mentioned, Rowdy is the always last player who tries to survive. This time around, it's not looking easy for him. A couple of Molotovs and grenades are gonna come in, but Flash still trying to breathe, still trying to have this survival instinct pull off. But look at Halal Exitron. The entire plan is to go all in. Rowdy finds a beautiful spot. Exitron 6-9 throws a grenade, and Flash gets taken down. It's a 1v3 situation for this guy now. Rowdy, you have to go all in. You have to get close and confirm those elimination points, and now it's a third party. The blessing in the form of disguise. Vampire comes here. Situation is down to a 1v2 because the third party will leave Halal Exitron and the last player, but Ravity, he has to capitalize. He has to realize that there's another team in the outskirts. In the meantime, Halal Exitron, now they're looking passive because they lost 2 players in the process. They lost 3 players, in fact, and probably 6-9 is the last man standing. It's a 1v1 now. It started from a 4v2 down to a 1v1, all because of the third party by Vampire Sports. But Rowdy coming all in. Both the teams from the same region, both the players from the same region, and Rowdy gets the better of him. A beautiful shot delivered by him. Another elimination point confirmed by A1 Esports. Even after joining with 2 players in this entire game, 3 players with this entire game, this team is also trying to get some points. And even esports, you gotta work on this. You have to make sure that you join with all 4 players, because the other they will probably have 7 players if they recall their players back. So side by side now, can A1 esports also recall their players? Steven, we saw them with only 3 players in the probably beginning of the match. They're still unable to recall. Is the recall option here or not?
I'm not quite sure. I've not seen anything happening just yet, so I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But in the meantime, it is going to be 4YLC sitting with 3 eliminations up, 3 players also then remaining. So they are going to be looking to see where they can take this towards next. As well, we've now entered placement point territory, so all the teams have some scores on the board there, as we know exactly where they are going to be finding themselves come end of this match. Well, at least for the time being, right? If they get taken right on down. So this is where it's quite challenging, especially over on towards the edge there with the Vikings, and 1-for-1 going at each other. 1-for-1 now landing their second point. 2 eliminations up. K2 is down, and this is interesting because I mean K2, especially for the side here of 1-for-1, has been doing pretty good, right? Really capitalizing on quite a bit of that aggression. So I'm curious as to whether or not they are going to be able to get K2 back in the fight.
Well, to be honest, yesterday we saw him getting 4 elimination points with, I guess, 700 damage or maybe 800. So yeah, K2, he's also performing one of those young players out there. I think he's probably 17 or 18. He's so young and so talented. But yes, they have to, they have to get some elimination points, some more elimination points, because look at 1-for-1. They only have 2, and they joined with 3 players. Another team with a bit of disadvantage on their side, but DRS on the other side, they have 4 men standing to elimination points. There are no recalls available, and I'm sorry, I would like to apologize because I had no idea. I had no idea about it because I don't play Rondo much. I don't play it at all. Our Champions Esports, once again, 4 elimination points in the backpack. This time around, it's 4 by LC coming up against C1 and Kino with what a beautiful spray. What a beautiful spray on 2 different sides. And imagine if he had managed to take another player down. It would have been, a clip, a crazy clip. And once again, Champions, they're showcasing their skills and probably trying to, find an opening. And now they'll probably try to push forward. They are out in the open. They gotta watch out. They are on the water side. They are inside the circle. But there will be teams for a third party who will try to look for you, who will try to hunt you down. But Champions, once again, it's 1-for-1 coming up against DRS, and Champions trying to find a way to third party.
Well, let's see if anybody is going to be able to find a few of the compounds just positioned on the edge of the waterway here. The pressure is on so many regions at play, and now it's going to be Punk coming through with the jump shots, and with that, they send yet another crew right back into the lobby. 1-for-1 also going to be falling down. So we are left with the final 4. It is going to be 4-Way LC, Voin Donkey, Vampire Esports, and DRS looking to show us what they've got so far. 4-Way LC doing a good job. 7 eliminations to the name. Voin Donkey, though, they've not found anything. And yesterday you said Voin has success on their first engagement, but they have a bit of a tough time following that. So far, they've not been involved in anything, so this could be their first engagement coming up next.
Absolutely, Voin Donkeys for now. This is their first engagement, and that's what we mentioned yesterday, that their first engagement is always good. This time around, it's Vampires within the confirmed 2 elimination points within some seconds. Once again, Zeta is on a beautiful angle, but he needs to cross the water side because the circle is not here, and within 40 seconds, they will be forced to move forward. But the good thing is that there is the circle is very close and 2 players are already inside. So Voin Donkeys, they have the map control for themselves. 2 of the players are gatekeeping the circle for the other 2 players, and they have a water crossing from where they can maybe have their vehicles cross the water side. Rizek from one side trying to pinch down the players of Vampire Sports, and look at this, Sento. He is down and knocked out. He's sent back home by Rizek. Voin Donkeys confirming their 3rd elimination point. So as we mentioned, and as you said, that if Vampire wins their first fight, they need to have it in the last zone. So yeah, this is what they're doing. They know that they will be no problem for them if they have their first fight in the last zone. They'll just be in the top 5. And look at them. They are in the top 4 now, and they have man advantage. 3 eliminations. Yesterday we saw them getting a chicken dinner. Maybe they can start this day with another chicken dinner, but they have a challengers with the name of 4-By LC who have 7 elimination points, and we have seen 4-By LC dominating here. We have seen them eliminating an entire squad previously. I don't exactly remember the name, but yeah, the way they pushed, the way they charged, they eliminated a 4-man squad with the 3 players.
Ooh. Well, we saw an interesting thing there with Potato turning that vehicle into a submarine, just driving right under the water, in on the one side, out the other. So if you've got the momentum, if you've got the speed, you can make your vehicle turn into a submarine, I guess. Lazarus is going to go down, and that is the end for Vampire Esports in match number 1. Down to the final 3 we go. DRS with 6. It's going to be 4-Way LC going in with 7. And Voin Donkey holding on with 3, but 4-Way LC, the only squad here with the 3 players remaining in this match. So the odds are looking to get stacked in favor here of Voin Donkey and DRS. Let's see whether or not they can make that become reality. Still a difficult zone to play through with that water and all these cliffs being in play. But DRS, they're not going to be holding back, looking to get themselves mobilized, looking to reposition and find that next angle to play off of. But, I mean, for 4-Way LC, they actually have a beautiful setup here, right? Nice bit of elevation to try and play off of. And it makes it quite tough for the other teams to push on them.
There's one problem with 4-Way LC. They don't have the zone control. They don't have their players deep inside the zone. But yes, the way they're playing on the edges, it's what they want. That's how they would they would love to play, but DRS is the closest challenge for this team. They have to deal with Cyclone because look at his position, the way he is trying to gatekeep the four LC's players. This is not looking good. DRS, they have a beautiful plate inside the zone if you look towards them. On the other side, Wine Donkeys, yes, they also have the map control, but it all depends on the circle, where the circle is gonna go. If it goes towards 4LC's side, it will be a good thing for them, not good for Wine Donkeys, and not good for DRS as well, but Wine Donkeys, they're also waiting for the zone. All three teams, they're just waiting for the zone, but the circle decides to move away from Wine Donkeys towards DRS. So DRS is the best team. They have 4 players. Yes, they don't have the elevation for themselves, but they have the map control. All they need to do is wait. They can maybe surprise 1 or 2 players of 4LC and then capitalize on it. But 4LC, what is going to be their plan of action? Although they have the closest edge of the circle, not deep inside the circle, but even an edge is going to be enough for you. But Wine Donkeys, 1 or 2 players are still outside the zone. But look at one player of Wine Donkeys, so far away from all the other players, trying to make a move, trying to get information on DRS. But DRS will start the fight. They will find Bipin. They will take him down. They will shut him down as well. And now 4LC is left with the last 2 players. Not a good thing for them. Not a good situation for them. But it's DRS. They're just doing DRS. Thanks.
Yeah. They are going to be looking to get cooking up here on the top side on that western front. But now it is going to be Fearless looking a little bit restless up on the top. Spots a bit of an opportunity over towards Potato and the rest of Point Donkey. But still, the team's pretty distant from each other, right? Everybody kind of just keeping away. But Cyclone, I think Cyclone missed the memo. Cyclone's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just going to go and try and keep the front line up here. It's going to be JD also pushing through with the buggy, just looking to see where they could find that next position, that next angle, and if they can take 4-way LC down. Punk going to try and pull that res off, but has to abandon it, at least for the time being. And this opens up that opportunity for DRS to come flying on forward. Killer YT and the rest of DRS continuously keeping 4-way LC out of that res, so he keeps him on a solo. And this opens up the opportunity now for Killer and the rest to come through. But Gaykor does get that elimination. JD finding the hit up into Punk. And now it's down to the final 2. It's going to be Voing Donkey and DRS to battle it out for the first victory, the first chicken dinner right here in the last chance. DRS, though, Aladdin, looking pretty good. 8 eliminations to their name.
Absolutely, absolutely. If they get a second winner, it will be 12 elimination points, and the crazy start with 22 points is going to be there from DRS side. There was no recall option available here on Rondo, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Teams are getting familiar with the map first, and then they will get familiar with the recall option. But now DRS, they will probably try to charge in. They have the positional advantage. Wine Donkeys, if the zone moves away from them, in fact, it's the last zone. It's the last zone, and Wine Donkeys, they have the disadvantage. In the meantime, DRS, they have to be very careful because Wine Donkeys, look at them, they have some utilities available. They have some grenades and molotovs. You gotta watch out for those utilities because that's the only way Wine Donkey is gonna breach this area. That's the only way. Okay, they also have some vehicles, not the only way. They have 2 ways to breach. One is the vehicle, the other is the utilities. And now Zeta moving forward with the vehicle. He's trying to get the information. Now they know the position of JD. Now they know that 2 players are placed in this side. But DRS, wow, what are they gonna do? What is going to be their plan of action? They gotta watch out on those vehicles side by side. They're farming. What are they doing? They're just having fun.
JD trying to dig a hole, right? I mean, you do have that terrain deformation that happens. So maybe JD was trying to see, maybe they can make themselves a bit of a hole to hide in, use that as coverage or use that as an angle. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I don't like that hill. Let's try and make it a little bit less of a hill. So maybe it could work. Maybe it won't. We'll find out soon. But both squads still left with 2 players up here. 4 players up, rather. Ooh, I say that, and Gaykor finds the opening play up into JD. This is going to be go time, but also Zeta needs to be careful, right? They need to go to the mechanic because that vehicle is not looking too great, but a beautiful hit there as Zeta gets whipped out of the vehicle. Now, Razak coming through with a quick response, but this could be the turning point. Killer YT getting picked on up. DRS have to find a way to bounce back from this because they are also then on a 2-piece. Look at that example, goes down. That means Razak is now also the last one left for Void Donkey to defend. It's now turned into a 1v1.
Absolutely, it's a 1v1. It's Razak on one side and Cyclone on another. But wait a second, DRS is reviving their teammate. Razak needs to realize this. He needs to throw some utilities, but side by side, a grenade is here. What? Okay, it's not a drop grenade. It's the player of DRS is giving him grenades, but Razak, look at him. A grenade goes in. You have to fight this 1v1 on one side. It's 12K. DRS Cyclone will find the better of him, and DRS will get this first winner chicken dinner. All because of their gun skills, all because of their manpower, and how beautifully they executed this fight. Yes, it was Team Wine Donkeys who, got the first knocked out, and still, even after that example coming in, stepping up big time, and Cyclone getting 2 elimination points and confirming the chicken dinner. This is beautiful. Every player tried their level best to, give their 100% in DRS. That's the reason why they have now 22 points to their name.
Yeah, it just shows you the 14 placement points that they had in the playoffs means nothing, right? They just bagged a whole bunch of them coming through with 10 for this game with that winner chicken dinner. So glorious performance from the side of DRS, but a very exciting showdown. I mean, I like what Voin Donkey is doing here as well, right? Really upping their overall approach and making it into those late stages of the game. So very excited to see what that could mean for them moving through the rest of the day. But we got to give credit where credit is due. DRS coming in victorious. The MVP for the match is going to be Razak all the way from that Voin Donkey side. 3 eliminations only and 912 damage getting secured. That is almost, well, that's a little bit more than 9 players getting taken down.
Absolutely. There's one thing about him having so much damage and so less eliminations. In the last fight, Razak was the player who took 2 players down, I believe, and managed to, give damage to the third one. So yeah, that's the reason why he has so much damage and so less elimination points, because DRS, they just won the chicken dinner and the elimination numbers were not confirmed. Moving on, where's the points table is here. 22 points to the name by DRS, and Voin Donkey starting a great match with 12 total points, 6 eliminations, 6 listed points. For LC, they had 12 points because they were there in terms of dominations, in terms of confirming elimination points alongside Viking Esports. So yeah, this match was a surprising match because all the top 4 teams were the bottom teams when the groups were playing, when it was A versus B versus C, because Vikings were struggling, for LC was struggling, Voin Donkeys was definitely struggling. At DRS, they only had 14 points in 6 matches, and now they have 22 in the first one. This is a brilliant comeback by every other team. Even look at Champions Esports. They were on the bottom spot, and now they have 6 points.
Yeah, so it just shows you the teams have a completely different approach coming into the last chance. They know what's at stake here. They know that this is the only opportunity for them to secure the plays and to ensure those slots moving through into the grand finals. But yeah, a beautiful start to the day. Only one team walking away with nothing to back for game number first. That was, of course, T2K. But hey, Rondo, DRS locked in. So now it is going to be the big question, right? Who's going to be the next team to step it up? Because see, we got 3 Erangels and those 2 Murmars making their way in here. So again, a good opportunity for teams to really build up that momentum, build up that pacing to see if they can do what needs to be done. And that is, of course, be quite aggressive, get the chickens, and make sure that you sit at the top of the rankings.
Absolutely. There's one thing I wanted to highlight. It's the performance of Dingoes. They had 6 total eliminations in 12 matches. And do you know, DK, that they had 6 decent points? But do you know one more thing? That they managed to get those 6 points in one match. In one match, they had 14 eliminations in that match of Miramar, 6 placement points. In all other 11 matches, they had 0 placement points. So imagine a team coming up with 61 eliminations. Let's just, remove their 14 eliminations. They still had, so much in their backpack without getting a single placement. But hey, you need to work on both the things if you want to dominate. But for now, it's time for a short break. Stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move into the second match of the day right here in Last Chance. Day number 1, Rondo, done and dusted. Now we get ready to see what Aaron Gale is going to bring in next. We are going to be stepping into a triple serving, right like the official map rotation. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for teams to really hone in that consistency and try and see what they can get done. But they have to be quick, right? Because whatever they don't get done today, tomorrow's the last chance. That's the last day, the last opportunity to try and qualify for the finals. So the pressure is going to be on. And yeah, the teams are coming in hot already.
Absolutely, the teams are coming in hot already. They're already trying to get those, 10, 12 elimination points. And how can we not talk about DRS? They managed to get 12 elimination points, and that was a brilliant start. And side by side, there was Wayne Donkeys, who realized that they are not good enough to, take a couple of fights together. So that's why they forced themselves to stay alive till the last one, and that's when they got their first fight and they won it. They managed to get 12 points in total, and that's a brilliant start by them. For whilst he managed to get 7 points, but it's time to move towards our next match. It's going to be played on the map of Erangel. We'll have 3 Erangels. First one is starting, 2 more to go, but now the flight path is going to start from shooting range side. You can say it's more corner towards that western side, but where is the circle gonna go? Is it gonna go towards Rozak side? Is it gonna go towards Severny? Is it gonna be a military base circle? Because if it goes toward military side, I am gonna love it, because the gatekeepers are gonna be there on the red side, and side by side those rotational fights, those early on chaotic fights are gonna be there.
Yeah, I just want to see it go in the direction of Mansion, purely because that's where heaven is, and so I want to see flying cars again. It was so much fun to see the teams just utilizing the edge of that hill. It's going to take me a little while to get over it. We also have seen a few early engagements coming through up in Zaki. I don't think we're going to have that right now because RRQ seem to be alone. But of course, T2K going for their usual location right up into Severny Talent, just towards that southern position. And Nexary, they've decided to go down towards the northern side of Everest, right there in South George. This could open up a few interesting positions. We got a new player also then coming through there for R3G. But let's see who's going to look to move into Millie. You called it. You said you want to see it go there. And then we have a partial military island start to the match.
I think it is going to be a complete military circle after this one, because I think it's going to go towards Nova side, or maybe it can go towards the water side, because we've not seen the water side circle in a long time. So maybe it's going to challenge all the teams and their patience. But side by side, Vampire Sports coming up against DRS in an early skirmish, and then we have HLE up against Champions Esports on both the sides. There are some knockdowns and some eliminations going in. Vampire confirming 1 point. They take down another, and look at this. DGGGER is fighting with a team DRS, and on another side, third side, it's Skyforce versus Bandit. What's going on? All the teams are trying to get them endorsed in an early on drop flash fight, but Vampire, they're charging in. Kilobyte, I think he's the last man standing, and look at this example those are there. It's a 2v4 situation, but Kilobyte takes one down. He eliminates him as well. He is not giving up on his life, and side by side, the hope his teammates have, but he's gonna fall down and he's gonna get taken down. That's not good. Kilobyte is also knocked out. But wait a second. Before Example gets eliminated, he's gonna manage to take all the players one by one, and we're down to a 1v1 Miala versus Example.
Oh, Example looking to turn this match on its head. It's going to be a pretty tough play for DRS to continue from here if Example manages to clutch this one out. But let's see, is Mila going to do the upset? Will they get that finishing play? Cyclone slowly bleeding out. So, jump shot. Mila locks it in. Comes in like Batman jumping off the side of the building, closing it up. And with that, 4 eliminations going over to the side of Vampires. But it's going to be tough because now they only have 1 player left.
Absolutely, what a risky play by Vampire Sports, but yet he managed to deliver. I mean, it does not matter as soon as you manage to deliver, and that's exactly what Vampire did. But DRS, after 22 points in the first match, they managed to get 3 more points, but they get eliminated. They got eliminated all because, Vampire decided to go all in. Yep, they also have 4 elimination points in this match, but only 1 man standing. But moving on towards the red side, it's 1-for-1 versus Skyforce, all because Skyforce is gatekeeping the red side, and that's exactly what we mentioned. But going into a bridge fight or any fight in such a short time, it's not looking good for both the teams. Sanjay is knocked out, Godless is eliminated, Skyforce, ICY, and Riley, they have the responsibility on another side. It's one for one with all 4 players, but one of them is knocked out.
Well, let's see how this one is going to now pan out for Skyforce. 23 moving up here. Voltrox gets confirmed, so that's the first elimination on board now. But IC needs to be careful because they don't really have meds. So whatever happens is going to happen. Will they be able to survive 1 for 1 coming in with the reinforcements? And this could be that turning point now for Skyforce as they have 3 players up, but the shots are really quick to connect. And not an easy angle to play off of. IC could come back into the fight potentially if they can get that res secured. It's not going to be an easy res because they will have to put themselves in a very difficult position. But Sanjir now is going to maybe try and see if there's some kind of cover that they can bring in.
Absolutely, but they gotta watch out for K2. K2 is there and he's gonna find Sanjir. Maybe he's gonna find Riley before he finds Sanjir, and his angle is definitely good. But look at the wrap around from A1 Esports is definitely gonna be there, and maybe the survival is gonna be in a very difficult situation for Team Skyforce, because as we mentioned, K2 from one side he found Riley, and the man with the high HP is down, and the closest threat is eliminated, and now Sanjir also gets eliminated by K2. Team 1 for 1, they sent Skyforce back to Mongolia, and that's not a good start for them. In the previous game, yes, Skyforce, they managed to get 4 points, and now they only got 1, and that's definitely not a good start. But 1 for 1, they lost 1 player in the process, but they managed to survive with 3 elimination, and that's a good news. But moving onwards towards the multi side, it's Team T2K versus Talon Esports, both coming up against with 4 players. Yes, Talon Sports, they have the vehicle advantage, but side by side, T2K just wants to go all in. Rules OT, that was a blunder that you just made, but yes, the punishment was definitely not there from Shield's side, but a call with the grenade coming in on Master Zerdy. This can damage a lot, this can give a trouble, and Master Zerdy is knocked out. T2K, the first player is knocked, and he will be finished. He will be flushed as well. Now T2K is down to a 3v4 situation.
Well, is this going to be any trouble for them? Will they be able to come up and bounce back from this? Of course, they were the only team in the previous match not to score a single point. So there's definitely a little bit of pressure on them here to perform, to step it up and bring it home. But let's see, can they clutch it out? Demo this time, not going for a vehicle, instead trying to get their steps in, right? Going for the bicycles, trying to make sure that the fitness level is where it needs to be. But this is what we love to see. The players keeping themselves active. Rules, though, looking for a bit of an angle here. They do have talents just up ahead. Could this nade reach all the way on in? I'm not quite convinced of that. And, of course, there's nobody in that building. So, yeah, a little bit of wasted utility. But looking at the fights up in Malta, it is always exciting to see the teams go at it. Igneous also quickly trying to reposition T2K. Okay, yeah, could have watched out for the sires. T2K, this is their opportunity to try and step onto the rankings as well.
Absolutely, T2K, not the team who wants to step up on the rankings, but that's not the way to go. You lost 1 player, you're falling back now, and that's a good thing. You need to focus on the zone first, and then you can maybe try to get yourself indulged into a fight. And on another side, it's 4 by LC. They were like, we made a lot of mistakes in the previous stage, and we're not ready to make any other. That's why we will prefer our rotations, and now they are on a very good spot. If we talk about the place that they are in, it's the radio tower area on military side. But T2K, Ajay, he got a headshot by Gyante. They got out of 1 trouble, and now they're in another. This time around, it's the team from their own region, T2K versus Tribe Messi. You know, some ex-players are here. T2K's ex-players are in AST, and some AST's players are in T2K. So that's the mix and match in both the teams. But let's see how well are they going to perform now that they're in a 3v4 situation. T2K, they lost 1 player previously in the Malta, and they're not ready to lose another.
Well, the pressure is going to be on Gyante on high. Relaying a lot of information down over to Delta. Delta starting to push on forward. Oh, good angle there by Trix as well. A phenomenal read, and I mean, Trix in a vehicle quite far away from this engagement. So coming through with the reach here. And there we have it. The first point is on board. Tribe Messi looking to kick the ball off here, looking to see if they can build that momentum in a good start.
I have a question. Who makes such a rooms? There are 5 windows or maybe 6 windows in this room. Who makes such a rooms? Look at this. I mean, you are compromised from every other direction if you are here. I don't know if it's a bedroom or it's a TV lounge. I have no clue. There's a carpet there. Maybe it's a TV lounge, but still, it's crap. I mean, it's not T2K's mistake. It's not their mistake. But moving on, where the circle is moving towards Nova's side, and that's what we were thinking. That's what we were predicting. That's what we were talking about. That the circle is going to go towards Nova's side, but hey, there's no one to gatekeep those rotation on both the wedges. There was one player for Viking, but he was falling back side by side because all other players are inside a fight where they have to face one of the player of Bandit. But wait a second, a spray coming in from one side will take him down. And look at Hokia, in fact, he's charging in. He has a grenade. MBK versus Bandit. Utilities are coming in. None of them is making any impact. Once again, a grenade goes and it was supposed to take one player down, but still they're surviving. MBK, they're the lucky players because they're dodging every utility. And look at this, once again, they're gonna do that. But wait a second, one is he will damage himself with this grenade. But MBK, the players are gonna get taken down one by one from Bandit's side. Although Tin Sky is getting eliminated because he's bleeding out. But Hokia will move forward. He will take third player down. And now it's a 1v3 situation, probably a 1v2 because one of the players was knocked out. The revival is coming in, but side by side, you gotta watch out. The zone is there, and Superman now he has to carry his team on his shoulders. That he's not gonna do because he was found out by his position was found out by Bandit Esports and he's eliminated. So yeah, Bandit is off to an amazing start, and they have how many 5 elimination points?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good right here. They came in with 1 point, and now they have more than quadrupled it. What's the 145? I don't remember. I'm not even going to try and figure it out right now. But Talon, they're going to be moving up, coming in with that hovercraft. It is going to be T2K welcoming them in with open barrels and hot scrums. And oh, here we go. The shots are in. But unfortunately, T2K are not going to be able to find any points. Again, unfortunate turn of events here for them. Another unsuccessful match. But, well, we can't stop there as we continue to push up into Novorepnoya.
Absolutely. Circle is moving towards Novorepnoya. Look at the position of Miola. Look at him. He's using a botation. He's trying to move inside the zone from the backside. Maybe someone from Point Donkeys is going to find him. Maybe it will be Gesser. But I guess Miola is trying to stay in the water side. He's not going to try to go towards the shore side. And side by side, there was another team that was seen on the map doing a botation, probably HLE, probably someone else. But yes, HLE, the players are going down one by one. Hitman is not been finished. On another side, it's Bandit who is confirming some more elimination points. And Halal Zitron, they are on the last player. I mean, staying outside the zone in such situation where the circle is going towards Nova side, it's not a good idea. And coming up against a team outside the blue zone, that's our worst idea. But next week, they're doing the same thing. They're fighting with R3C outside the zone, and they need to go 2,000 meters in the zone.
That's a long way to get back into safety. It's so far away that we didn't even see them when we were looking at that zone shift. But now it's going to be the Xavier knocking on the bridge, looking to see if they can find the angle, already spotting Delta. So Tribaramissy not being as sneaky as they thought they could be. 2 on the front line there. Oh, beautiful spray coming through from Gyante, Parajan, and the rest of the Xavier looking to push on forward. We've got Dockel up on the top of the bridge. So that is going to be the Xavier looking to bridge camp the bridge campers who were camping the bridge to be camped at. So let's see who will be getting this one. Who will be the one to walk away, claiming the territory for themselves. Tribe Aramissy, got to watch out for that off angle as we can see a rig now taking up the slot there over onto the water side. Delta for dropping down, but this is now that opportunity for Trix, Gyante, and Rig to come in, try and flush it out.
God.
But Dockel up on the bridge is going to try and push this one as far as they can. But you got to watch out for those off angle sprays.
Absolutely, and Gyante will definitely spot him out as he was trying to stay away from the sprays of Reg. But yeah, there's the position advantage of AST. It is brilliant, and now they're trying to control the entire area, but they need to revive Tulsa side by side. And look at this, one of them, all the players of DX are going down one by one, and Gyante will confirm the elimination point of one of them. But once again, I mean, DX, they have no chance to survive from here. They have Zone coming in from one side and ASD coming in from three different sides and three different elevations. You can say one is on the ground, one is on the bridge, and one is on top of the bridge. So Levi's is trying to survive. But wait a second, Hatu, is that Hatu or Haitu? Trying to survive. He was trying to throw a utility as well, but he got taken down. Levi's is the last man standing, and this grenade will probably damage him. No, it's not gonna do the job. It's not gonna get the job done. But from a different angle, I think it's Trex or no, yeah, it was Trex who will find Levi's and shut him down. And look at this. DX is eliminated, all because Team Triber and Messi, they had a brilliant idea to control the rotation, and the way they locked the bridge side, that was also commendable. But what's going on? Is this a flying vehicle? I don't think so.
It was a floating one, and down it goes up in flames. I think that player that you're asking his name, I'll just call him Bless You, right? Because it sounds like a sneeze almost. Like I say, Hachu. But it's Hatu, I guess, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm taking a wild swing at it.
I'll just go for
I'll just go for Bless You. Right, just in case.
Okay. But never mind. Meola is also there, so maybe you're gonna call him Cat.
No. I'll say because I mean vampires can't be cats, right? I've not seen a vampire cat in a long while, so
you're seeing one, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, aside from Miola over here, yeah, I haven't seen any others.
Okay, it's Miola number 6 because there are other probably 5 more Miolas, so you gotta watch out for them. But wait a second, G gets eliminated. Next Ray is also eliminated as they were here with the last player. 1 for 1, they got the credit to eliminate this team, but they need to make their ways inside the zone, inside the maybe they need to find a way to get to the shore side. But Wine Donkeys, look at their split. I mean, they have a beautiful split. They were supposed to have 10 eliminations by now, but they only have 0 because all Team Wine Donkeys know is that their first skirmish is the fight that in which they are going to dominate, and after that they will struggle. So they are once again trying to have a fight when it's time to be in the top 5. But wait a second, they're not going to do that this time around. They'll find one of the player of team Talon Esports, and they will definitely eliminate him as well. Once again, I guess Axel was spotted by Zeta, but he's still surviving. From one side it's the zone, and from another it's Wine Donkeys, and they have nowhere to go. But C1 versus RRQ, another fight is going on inside the zone, and RRQ, they're losing their players, and they gotta retaliate back. They had the minute advantage, they've lost it, and C1 would definitely try to capitalize. Now it's a 3v3 situation on that end, but once again C1 coming all in. Atomic with the buggy.
Yeah, Atomic now looking to step it up. Lapar just ahead of him. Oh, the shots are in. Yep, there we go. Right, Atomic with the S12K. You gotta watch out. If you see Atomic coming with that S12K, you better run. If he comes with any other weapon, don't worry. Maybe a utility. The nades. Yeah. The nades. You don't have to run as fast, right? But when it's an S12K, really run. You got to run real fast because they are going to come in hunting you. Mula, though, this is an interesting spot. See, this is only a spot that a cat can get to. The one lone rock out here in the water. How he got up here, I have no idea, but this is definitely an interesting position. 23 could be taken down if Mula spots them. Oh, yeah, just ran up. Okay, never mind. Just run up the side. See, I don't ever explore this side of the map because I usually don't have to go into the water to make it into those next few stages. But let's see. Maybe Mula can get a cheeky elimination. This could be the 5th point now on board coming through for the side here of Vampire Esports. 23 about to get spotted, so you can see that timer slowly running out. Of course, the zone is going to close up very soon as well, so Mula will have to clear away moving forward in towards the zone. Otherwise, this fancy position was for nothing.
Absolutely, Miola needs to get some elimination points. He needs to confirm some points, but the zone is not here, so he needs to move forward. He needs to, get back to the line, get back to safety, get back to where everybody else is. But on the other side, it's 1-for-1, trying their level best to survive. There are so many. There are plenty of fishes in the sea. That's we have heard. Now we can see it clearly, but. Wait a second, Wine Donkeys, they're trying to confirm some more elimination points, and thank God they are doing it because they had a beautiful split and they were not utilizing it. Now they've realized the same thing, that it's time to realize, it's time to capitalize, it's time to eliminate some players, it's time to get your elimination numbers up. And once again, Zeta will find 23, and another number is knocked out. And on another angle, it's Miola who got spotted, and some headshots were delivered by Geyser. You gotta be careful. Someone is also coming in, and Wine Donkeys also have a clue about you. But Talon Esports, I really want to see the players of Talon Esports because they are 3 players and they can definitely give a little bit of challenge to Wine Donkeys. But they're not ready to do it. They're not ready to be aggressive. But talking about aggression, it's Triber Messi versus C1, and C1. Look at their elimination numbers. They already have 4 in this match. And ASD, they have 6 eliminations. But now it's a 2v2 situation, probably a 2v3. On one side, it's C1, and a beautiful grenade will take balls down. And what is this? Kyante coming up with the confirmation. So C1 now on the verge of elimination because Kino is the last one standing, and Kyante coming up with those beautiful grenades. They'll probably find Kino. No, the answer is a no for now. But Kino, he is forced to stay away from the fight, and now he's taking the blue damage.
Well, speaking about damage, it's going to be the players here from 4YLC who could be feeling the heat. Oh, Punk almost running straight into that nade. Vazi, though, is going to be quickly just trying to patch themselves up before looking to step back into the fight. R3G down to a solo. So it does make things a little bit more challenging here, but Vazi has been carrying the team, locking in all the eliminations that they have to show so far. Oh, gotta watch it out. Gotta watch out, though. Oh, YLC. They're getting ready to strike. Viper now just here on the edge. Vazi taking so much damage. Up comes the molly, and they get cooked as Fearless lets it loose. Zibian also going to be hanging in the wing here. But Voin Donkey now looking to play that position, that white spread that we saw from them earlier. They have 3 eliminations up. Are they going to be able to capitalize on even more? Razak needs to keep a very close eye here. There's, again, so many angles to be aware of. Teams and players spilling in from all directions. So it's going to be tough. We've got 17 players and 8 teams. And Voin Donkey, the only squad with 4 players up.
Absolutely, Moin Donkeys, they are playing so brilliantly. They're trying to showcase their skills once again, but look at this. Zibian was also trying to do the same, but he was in a 1v2 situation, and 4YLC will definitely not come slow. Will definitely eliminate Zibian, and now they're reviving their teammates. So once again, they will topper Moin Donkeys. They're getting another challenge because 4YLC, yes, they don't have many elimination points in the backpack, but they have 3 players, but they're also not getting knocked out by the hands of Bandit Esports because they decided to charge in. From on one side it's Bandit versus 4YLC going on another it's Talon versus Voin Donkeys, and 4YLC will clear another team.
All right, okay. Oh, look at that. Zeta coming through with a quick little push here. Voin Donkey now going to be looking to capitalize, see if they can find even more pain here. Talon just on the edge, looking to ride it out. They've got 3 eliminations themselves, but are they going to be able to do what they need to do? Oh, a goal getting taken out of here. Voin Donkey, though, looking to bounce back. Talon down to solo. It's going to be Shields now, just sneaking around out in the grass, looking for the angles, the opportunities. Gyante out in the open, a very, very exposed position. But Mueller still in play, right? That zone, not fighting against them. Instead, everybody now just going to have a nice little bit of a splash here out in the water. It's not often that we see the zone pull this far over towards the drink, but it is going to be a challenging one, especially for the players now situated over on the water side. Tribe Armacy can definitely cause all the troubles now out in the water for all the squads, right? For everybody trying to survive. And if that vehicle goes up in flames, that could also be Mueller getting taken on down.
Absolutely, but Gante is going to get taken down by Zeta because the Mini 14 is not going to stop, and Zeta is also not going to stop because he's just trying to sweat everyone out there, and he is getting getting success in that process as well. But Wine Donkeys, they have the elevation, they have minute advantage, they have map control, they have everything. Look at this shield. He is definitely going to surprise the player of Wine Donkeys. Gazer have no clue where this player is, and he's trying to show that triggered discipline. And I couldn't do it. If I was Shield, I would have just go all in and try to eliminate everyone out there. But Wine Donkeys, you gotta watch out. The solo, if he knocks one, he's gonna eliminate you. But Gazer will find him because he was just going all in with bunny hops and jumps and trying to spot all the players out in the outskirts. And once again, situation is down to a 4v1, v1. A couple of solos are here, and Wine Donkeys with all 4 players. But the solos are gonna fight with each other because all these solos are towards the northern side, all southern side. All the players are gonna fight with each other. Meowla is outside the zone, is trying to heal himself, and the heal battle is going on the other side. It's a Delta versus Kino, and Delta will eliminate Kino. Now it's a 1v4 because Meowla will be eliminated to the zone, and Delta will be trying to get some elimination points. I mean, that's what Delta can do. Only maybe he can get 1 or 2 elimination points, and that's it. That's enough. Wine Donkeys is not gonna give away their chicken dinner.
Yeah, well, I mean, why would you want to, right? It does seem like Void Donkey are looking to prove us wrong here. 8 eliminations already to their name. Triberimacy holding steady with 9, and that is all they've got to show for it as the match is over. Void Donkey will reign supreme as they clutch up and they get that winner chicken dinner on board. I mean, they stepped up yesterday, right at the end of the day, coming in hot, right off the press with a victory here. They come into our first Erangel of the day and doing exactly the same. Another strong performance from their end. Not quite double digits finish, but definitely a way to do it. Yesterday, they got 8 eliminations when they took that winner chicken dinner over on Mermar. Today, they started off with Erangel, and I believe they got, close to 8, right? Probably almost,
9 eliminations.
That's very close to 8. It's right next to it.
To be very honest, Wine Donkeys, previously they were struggling in every possible way. Now that the PUBG gods are in their favor, the circle came close to their drop location, and the way they held it, the split was beautiful. It was risky, but it was commendable side by side. They did not allow anybody to breach in. They did not allow anybody to come into the Novo side, and that's where they confirmed the chicken dinner because they were looking at every place. If you want to go from the main island, you cannot go because there are 2 players who are holding with their Mini 14 and and M4. And on another side, if you want to come from the water side, there will be some other 2 players from Wine Donkeys who are not going to let you do that. So the split was commendable. They executed it brilliantly, and side by side, the success was there. We're talking about the MVP. It's going to be none other than Zeta with 4 elimination points and 993 damage. The damage is huge, all because they were trying to get information on their outskirts. Side by side, Zeta was the player, I believe, who had the elevation in the last match, and that's the reason why he was trying to damage everyone that he was spotting. Yes, some elimination numbers were stolen away, all because some teams were there who were, trying to. There was limited area for all the other teams and so much area for Wine Donkeys.
Yeah, well, if it's in your favor, you gotta capitalize on it as best you can. And Void Donkey doing exactly what they needed to, coming through with a glorious 10-10, right? 10 eliminations, 10 placement for 20 points on the board. Triberimacy keeping that heat up there as well. 15 total. Vampire Esports walking away with 5. So it does show you that cats can float, right? They're not going to fight the water. Yeah. They'll just kind of sit there and soak it up and just, have a little bit of fun. But for 3 squads, it wasn't that good of a run here. T2K, again, getting sent back with nothing to show for the match. D Xavier and A1 Esports also stepping in alongside them there. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Void Donkey now coming through with 32 points.
I mean, that's the consistency that we were talking about. 18 elimination points in total, and now 18 total points. In fact, not elimination points. And then 32 points in total. That is brilliant by Team Boing Donkeys. And side by side, DRS is also coming in with 24 points in total. 4 by Aussie, another consistent name. They were consistent when, if you talk about getting those elimination points, but side by side, they did not get a good placement points. Vampire Sports, they were trying to make a comeback, 17 points through the name. Then we have Triber Messi, who also tried to make a comeback because previously, Triber Messi, they had probably like, I don't know, like 3 to 4 points. They did not have many points. But yes, it's a good thing. It's a comeback.
Yeah, definitely a comeback. And speaking about comebacks, we are coming back to page number next, the last page, the final page here. Talon are going to be added with those 3 slots as they now move up all the way into 10th position, securely sitting there with 8 points. So I'm still looking to see quite a bit of change, right? But it just shows you the stark contrast that has taken place in just 2 games, right? 32 points at the top of the board and a few donuts coming in on the final page here. So Halal, Nexery, all these squads sitting over in those lower slots, they need to up the ante if they want to make it through. Because if you want to make it into the grand finals, you will have to land yourself on the first page, right? That is going to be those qualification slots. So the pressure is going to be on.
Absolutely. But moving on, we're talking about the schedule. That's going to be the third map, which will be starting in a few minutes, which will be starting on the map of Erangel. So yes, we do not have 3 Miramars, we have 3 Erangels as per the official rotation. So yeah, teams who love to play Erangel. I think everybody's comfortable on this map because that's the most amount of matches that you probably have played on this map. Because if, as far as I remember, I used to play Senec all the time, but yeah, Erangel was my second favorite. Now that Senec is removed from competitive, what's left for you? It's definitely Erangel and then Miramar, and then we have Rondo as well. But yeah, within a few minutes, we will move towards the next map. Before that, we would like to take a very short break. So stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back after a very short break.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to move into our second Erangel of the day. Match number 3 is about to make its way on through. We've been seeing quite a bit of action. Of course, the Voin Donkey coming in clutch in the last match, and Mila showing us that cats can swim as a little bit of that water play was an important part of the survival for Vampire Esports. But I gotta give it up to Voin Donkey, though. They've been super consistent today, right? 12 points in the first match, 20 points in the last match. It does award them the glorious 32 points and the top spot on the overall standings. But the big question here, I think, Aladdin, is will they be able to hold on, right? Will the rest of the lobby allow Voin Donkey to sit up at the top?
Absolutely, that's one of the biggest question out there. But side by side, there is one question that I have for DRS. Whenever they try to go all in a drop clash, it does not turn out well for them. It does not turn out to be so good for them. And we saw it in the first match. They were there with the domination. They had 12 elimination points. They had the chicken dinner side by side, and they were happy. They were celebrating. They're like, yeah, this is what we wanted. That's the great lineup in the history of Nepal. And in the very next match, they went for a drop clash. They lost all 4 players, and they're like, okay, it's okay. We need to come up with a different plan now. But there's one thing that they need to work on, and definitely has to be avoiding drop clashes. There are so many places to go. On the map of Miramar, you have so many places. On the map of Erangel, you do have so many places. There used to be only one map, and that was Sanhok, and it's not here. It's excluded. So if you say that we had no idea that somebody's coming here, or if you say we don't have any other secondary drop, that is something I will believe in. So you gotta have some separate drop locations. You gotta find your second or third drop locations where you can go, so you avoid those drop clashes, because it's not working out good for you. It's not working out. If you look at the points table, DRS, they had 22 points in the first match, and they had only 3 in the next one. So I really hope that they avoid those drop clashes in this match.
Yep, I have to say I agree with that, and of course I'm pretty sure their supporters will also go with that sentiment as well. But yeah, we are going to find out exactly where this next match is going to be taking us, and of course who will be the ones to step up for that winner chicken dinner. You can see the plane almost being halfway, or it's more than halfway across the map now, so that first zone could be revealed very, very soon. Curious to see where this is going to go. Will we have another southern zone? Is it going to go to the east? Could it go to the north? Or will we have a little bit of that western action now coming through here for our squads?
Absolutely, teams are really having some hard time by the zone, because the circle, it went towards the military side. But before the circle, there is another important factor, and that is the drop clash. And DRS once again finding themselves so close to another team, and this time around it is RRQ versus DRS. They're resisting every team. DRS is testing every team in close ranges, and once they find the weakest one, they will try to go with them in every other fight. But now they have lost 2 players once again, and this is one thing that I wanted to mention, that I've already mentioned, in fact, that DRS needs to stay away from the zones. Stay away from the drop fights, and I don't know, they're not listening. Once again, they're on the verge of elimination.
Yeah, that's definitely not where you want to find yourself, but an interesting shift as we go south again, but this time around just on the other side of the military island. So that is going to change up the proceedings for our squads. We could see even more of a bridge play now coming through, as both bridges are in the zone. So, the opportunity is going to be available. Bipin and the rest of the crew could really be looking to lock down that southern defensive positioning. But the teams up towards the north will have a long way to go. So Bandit, Talon, as well as Tribe Eremacy and A1 are going to have to get themselves going. But A1, they are going to be finding themselves having to kind of go up against T2K, as the pressure is going to be on those drop clashes. The hot drops coming in, swinging. DRS looking to defend their own position up in Malta, as RRQ are knocking on the door. They want to see if everything is good and sorted up top. And there's 2 Donkey Kongs here, right? It's not often that we see that being the play. But now, RRQ patiently awaiting the play here. We do say goodbye to Sinister as the shots come through. Hitman also finding 23, but Zibian comes through with a quick response. Does come around with the retaliation. T2K and everybody else not just lighting this lobby up.
Absolutely, Master Zodi. He moved forward, took one player down. You gotta be careful. Rowdy leaves the revive. He tries to move forward, but Master Zerd, he has a shotgun in his hand. He tries to bait out the player. He tried to land the shot, but missed both the shots. And Rowdy, now he comes in, takes one player down. But what's gonna happen? What is this? What's going on? The players were hugging each other, and Rowdy, he's like, are you my teammate? No, I'm not your teammate. Okay, I'm gonna fire. And he eliminated him. Ajaya gets eliminated, and Team Women Esports, they will win the fight, but, winning a fight against T2K, that's a great thing, but, keeping all 4 players alive, that's insane, and that's exactly what Team A1 Esports did. They have 4 men standing, 4 elimination points to the name.
I mean, winning the fight against T2K is great. Winning a fight against any team is great, but for T2K, that's not great because, again, they're the first team back in the lobby. This has now been the 3rd match. They are the first team down every single time. I don't know what's going on. Why is T2K going down so early? Doesn't make sense. Love to see them fight a little bit longer, or at least survive, right? That'd be great. Maybe we could see that come through in match number 4. In the meantime, though, it is going to be 1-for-1. Finding ourselves there towards the southern side of the island, I believe it was, or that military island up on the northern shoreline. Now, DRS, RRQ still finding themselves in a bit of a situation here. RRQ absolutely relentless. They've been able to find 2. Are they going to be able to find the final few players left on DRS's side? And again, this is that situation you were talking about for DRS, right? Having a little bit of difficulty making it through this. The smoke could actually open up quite a bit of an opportunity now for Cyclone. And Kilo YT actually just survived this push coming through.
Absolutely. That's not a good idea for RRQ, but they'll still try to charge in. And DRS, they get eliminated. Now almost all the players of RRQ are down. And Steven is coming for a 3rd party. Look at this beautiful grenade by Kino. He's going to confirm 3 elimination points with 1 beautiful grenade. And it's a 1v3 by this player. What a 3rd party by C1 Esports, and what a beautiful grenade by Kinu. What's more better than this? I mean, just tell me. Getting 3 elimination points with 1 beautiful grenade, you don't need to, hassle anything. You don't have to do anything. Just do a 3rd party. Throw some beautiful grenades, and that's the way to go. C1 Esports.
Yeah.
They eliminated an entire squad, and RRQ, they could not believe it. They decided to move forward with 4 players, and reviving all players in one place. Once again, that's gonna haunt them for generations.
Well, I mean, sure, let's go with that. Now it's gonna be Bandit, just here on the edge of the zone, up towards Potato Hill. We don't see anybody else really in the vicinity, so that's an interesting angle for them not to take occupancy off. I'm not quite sure if we'll have a lot of rotations coming towards them, as we did see a few teams dropping up onto that northeastern side. Meanwhile, down south, it's going to be Voin Donkey having the whole entirety of the southern side for themselves, as a Gagor now goes around looking to get a little bit of that loot secured. But Voin Donkey taking, I think, a comfortable setup here, right? Nobody here to fight. They can just go enjoy the spoils, enjoy the scenery, take in a little bit of sun. And then once they're ready, once they feel like they've got enough vitamin D, they can get right down to business. But Miela also looking to see if they can maybe rotate across the way. Again, going for that quick loot session, as Primorsk is still currently within the zone. But I'm curious to see where that second stage is going to be taking us. Of course, we're still a long way away. Still a minute and a bit of change left before we get to that. But in the meantime, Talon Esports, they're going to be working their way through that northern side, approaching a few of the positions a little bit further down, trying to grab as many different vehicles as they can. In doing so, it makes it a little bit easier to not lose the entire squad, right? You don't want to have what we saw just happen there with 1-8 taking down 3 players all at once. So definitely want to try and ride it out as best you can. But already 3 teams getting sent back. Now it's going to be Nextry, the next team to fall victim to the sprays. The shots are there, and that's R3G looking to see if they can get that squad wipe. Can they pack up the whole team and ship them out of here?
Absolutely, R3G already, they have 2 elimination points in their backpack. They'll try to, confirm some more elimination points. I think they confirmed these points on team 1-for-1, or maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was next esports, but yeah, they're trying to rotate for now. Nectary is right in front of them, and probably there will be an interaction between both the teams. Next Esports is not gonna be happy with this interaction. They're already focused on their survival. But yes, the circle is gonna go once again towards that Nova side, and look at the circle. Only 30 to 35% area is playable, and the rest of the zone is unplayable. Miola is gonna go forward with the rotation, and on the other side, it's HA Lee. They need to capitalize on this spot. Wine Donkeys once again coming up with a beautiful rotation. They rotated all the way from Nova's side, but yes, they need to gatekeep this area because the circle is gonna go far towards the southern side, the southeastern side where Team Wine Donkey is. And Team HLE, they also have to be really careful. They should, watch two sides now. One for the backstab and one for all the teams who are trying to push from the main side. Because look at this. The point of contention is the military bridge side because all three teams. We can see Next Esports there, we can see Skyforce, and we can see DX. All these teams are getting indulged, and on the back of it, I think R3G is also gonna come here. But in the meantime, Riley will find one player because Next Esports, they lost another to some other team. And now Skyforce, they managed to get 1 point. Their next challenge is gonna be DX.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty tall order for them. But interesting thing that we're also seeing here is, in the playoffs, the teams chose violence. Today, the zone is choosing violence. it's just making it so difficult for the squads to get good positioning. But it's fantastic because it's going to force them to play, a very, very aggressive game here. They can't play too defensive because that is going to be their quick ticket back into the lobby. Now, the Xavier trying to figure out what is the play. Are they going to try and lock down the bridge? Are they going to try and defend just on the front side? In the meanwhile, as Skyforce are also weighing up their options, you can see the players there from R3G now looking to roll on forward. Is going to be Roshan and the rest of the crew coming in hot. But are they going to dip into Fairy Pier and then try and go for a bit of a swim? Or will they look to send it just straight up? No, it's said to think they're going to be pushing all the way over to Primorsk and then try and rotate up from that side.
Absolutely, the rotation pattern is going to be very important. R3 here, but it's going to be their plan of action. They're outside the blue. They're going to go outside the blue zone in a few seconds or maybe a few minutes. But side by side, I think they want to go from the bridge side, but they're waiting for all the teams to just end their fight, avoid this area, and then a late rotation is gonna be here. And side by side, maybe the way they're playing on that Fury Pier side, they can go for a rotation. But is there any vote? I don't think so. Because there was Team Vampire Sports who could have, utilized all those boats, who could have used all those boats. But AST versus Team Skyforce, that's another fight. On another side, there's a third party coming in from Dingos, and look at this. Skyforce, Sunshine is down. Already they have 2 elimination points, and Lamborghini got spotted by IC Vice. Some sprays are going back and forth, and Lamborghini, he also have to, just put a little bit of pressure on Team Skyforce players. But DX, look at them. They're losing their players to the zone, and side by side, Skyforce is also trying to get some elimination points confirmed, but I think the time is very short. They need to conclude this fight as soon as possible because R3G is gonna come in for a third party on both the teams, and look at them. They will take one of the players down on Team Dingos and then confirm another elimination point on Skyforce. So it's not looking good for any team out there, and Roshan has all 4 elimination numbers. Dockel is also knocked out because of the zone, and R3G will try to get that elimination point confirmed side by side. Levi's decided to move forward, confirming elimination point on Team Skyforce's side. It's not looking good for anyone. It's a 1v2v4 situation, I guess. And Dingos, now they also have to do something miraculous because they cannot survive this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough one to get out of this in one piece, but a good strategy. We do see that off-angle rotation coming towards the bridge just in the background. Meanwhile, it's going to be Talon feeling the heat as they've got a few neighbors now moving in here. It's going to be full YLC looking to see if they can take up a spot of their own. Vipen up there in the hovercraft. Vampire, they also have one. But are they going to be able to get the job done? It is going to be just on the edge of the melee base, and Riley goes down. New player locking it in. There we have it. 6 eliminations now for R3G. A1 also going to be looking for their slice of the action as they will need to rotate all the way back in towards the zone. Still a long, long way to go. as they now take the push up in towards that military base. But again, already having a few other players here. It is going to be Vikings. Up comes Superman flying in with his horse. Is he going to be able to get the jump? Well, not quite yet, but he does quickly jump and change seats. It's going to be CJ now having to pay the price. And, well, a little bit of horsing around coming through here. Superman now looks to close this one up. Going to get that confirmation. That is 3 points already on the board. Now they're going to capitalize on the fourth. A1 running into so much difficulty here. CJ getting banned as that is the end of the road. Now, A1, they still have 2 players up from what we can see. It's going to be Tri-Baramisi also holding on the bridge.
Yeah.
Up ahead of them is going to be the Xavier Lamborghini holding nice and steady. But both these squads, they need to get back into zone because Phase 3 Blue is going to eat you alive.
Absolutely, DS. They have their 3 men. They can definitely move towards the zone and try to find some more elimination points. But they think that 700 meters is not a big challenge. But they're trying to eliminate one last bit of AST. But yeah, we saw some action by the Superman side. The Superman who's a cowboy and loves to cook with the pan. So he has so many features. He has so many attributes. But AST trying to do the same thing here on that bridge side. But Lamborghini got spotted. Does he have any idea that Trix has changed his position? Trix speaks from one side and then moves to another. And this is going to surprise DX. Look at this. A beautiful grenade is going to take down Lamborghini. Look at this beautiful grenade. It's gonna go right on the face of Lamborghini, but R3G comes in from the backside, and this is going to be another big challenge for DX. Not just for DX, it's gonna be a challenge for team R3G as well. How are they gonna move inside the zone? Because DX is waiting for them, and it's not the right way to do things. DX, they need to move back because the players, they don't have any other kit available now. So staying outside the zone, it's going to cost them their players. Look at this. Lamborghini is knocked out. And all 2 players now, they're trying to move inside the zone. This gives an opportunity to R3G to move inside the zone. But yeah, in the meantime, Zeta is confirming some elimination points. A1 Esports, they will find themselves into the crosshairs of Team Boy Donkeys. And look at this. They're not just taking the players down, but confirming those elimination points side by side. Both the players are now out, and this marks an exit for Team A1 Esports. But Roshan is on rampage. This guy is going bonkers over there.
Yeah, it is really heating up. Oh, Mueller coming through with a beautiful nade, finding a few hits there as well. We do say goodbye to Puzzle from Bandit as the blue does its thing. Now, Bandit in a very sticky situation. They need to find a way to potentially maybe rotate back into safety. But for 4YLC, things are looking pretty decent here. As you can see, they've got a nice lineup, nice position, well situated onto the southern side of zone. Up comes the Vikings rushing on forward. It's going to be Fearless now just hammering away at the rock. Unfortunately, not making the necessary connections. The Xavier giving up a few of their players to that blue zone as well. Paying homage or paying the price for something to potentially come through. It's going to be Keen taken down as now Champions Esports only have a few more remaining. 1 player is going to be what they will have to try and work with here. But let's see whether or not Parisian can get the nade secured. Bandit quickly just falling back, looking for a quick cheeky reposition. But it is a little bit of a late decision here, as already so many teams have moved in alongside them. Vampire Esports also now going to be moving up on R3G. While left with a solo, at least on the front line, and pressure and tensions continue to rise.
Absolutely, pressure continues to rise. When Donkey is confirming more points, and they're stepping down. They're still looking for another chicken dinner. But are the teams going to allow them to do that or not? Only time is going to tell. But here we have 4YLC coming up against Bandit Esports. This time around, Bandit was trying to stay away from all the possible contention. But now I think it's time for them to get some elimination points. Wine Donkeys, in the meantime, they found the last player of Team R3G, and R3G, the plan that they had of rotating deep inside the zone was definitely not good. They gave their elimination points. They just, you can say, they gifted the elimination points to the entire lobby, because a few moments ago they had 4 players and now they had only 1 who also got eliminated by some team on the extreme eastern side. But here comes some elimination numbers in the kill feed, because Bandit is also trying to indulge himself into a fight up against Team DX on Sosnovaca's side. Although both the teams they need to move inside the zone, DX on their solo and bandit Tensky from an elevated angle. He will try to move forward and try to eliminate him. And here comes the confirmation. Dingos gets out. But the next challenge for Team Bandit is going to be Team Talon Esports because they have heard the gunshots. And maybe from one side, Team 4YLC is also going to join. So Bandit, they're gonna watch out with this rotation. Things are not going to look good for them. But look at this. Look at this Sure side. MBK is there. Vikings is there. Side by side, Boing Donkeys are here. Three teams are gatekeeping the same area. Talon is also trying to surprise the players of 4YLC. Zora is knocked out. Bandit is also trying to get their ways inside the zone. And probably they're going to face Talon Esports as well.
I mean, beautiful work being done here by Yoru, just locking those hits and making the necessary connections. Not quite sure that is what 4YLC had in mind. And I mean, they were able to kind of just sit on the edge of that zone for the longest time, but now they have to move as the zone is going to start closing up very slowly. Now, Bandit right there alongside them is going to apply even more pressure, so it's not an easy rotation whatsoever. This is Yoru just capitalizing on a very vulnerable 4YLC. Pipin just quickly falling back. Now comes the push there from the Bandit side, but again, sprays coming through from all directions. Vampire also just waiting in the wing. So many teams looking to capitalize on a few sneaky opportunities. You can see Potato and the rest of the players there from Voin Donkey also just situated on that far western front. Bandit now with a full send as they look to commit in onto the edge. But again, Cliffs, that's going to be a spot where we see a lot of our players now trying to survive. But unfortunately, if you're not looking, you are going to get rushed and a big surprise will make its way to you.
Absolutely, Vampire on another side, they're trying to force themselves into another fight with Bandit. They are trying to charge in everywhere. Wherever they find someone, they try to push forward, but they lost two players in the process now. It's 4YLC versus Bandit, where there is going to be a third party from Talon's side. And I like the idea of Talon because they're just holding their compounds and not doing any unnecessary move, and they're just trying to, wait for all the teams to get them indoors into fight, and they will just try to scrape those elimination points. They'll just try to do a third party in all those smokes. And look at this. Once again, beautifully, they confirmed one elimination point. But yes, another player was spotted on, this time on Bandit Esports, a Viking bandit, what's the name? Venice was also spotted by Johan, and Yuri Johan will confirm another point. So, yeah, the entire plan of Team Talon Esports is to wait for the other teams to fight with each other, and then just go all in. Then just, spray them down, and maybe with those random fires, you will confirm 1 or 2 elimination points. That's how they got 5 elimination points. So Talon is looking more stronger than ever. The circle is definitely gonna move, so they gotta watch it for the zone as well. Their focus should be on the zone and side by side. Maybe Vampire will try to slam in here, because now that Vampire is outside the zone, they will try to look for the openings. Talon Esports, you cannot peek there. You cannot get 1 or 2 players knocked out, because if this happens, Vampire is gonna charge in and try to steal these compounds away from you.
Yeah, and they are going to be quite capable of doing exactly that. So let's see whether or not Talon will be able to wing this one. Are they going to be able to close it out? The zone still very committed to staying partially over the water. A few players already getting themselves situated out on that far edge. But if that zone moves back onto the east, it is going to be absolutely troubling for the players situated on that far edge side. But let's see what will happen over on the eastern front as Talon now looks to focus all their efforts over onto the side. Vampires, though, surprisingly cautious, right? Not getting too aggressive, just keeping their distance, not overcommitting to anything, at least not for the time being. But here we go as Johan now pushes up, looking to see if they can find a little bit of something. Oh, there we go. A cool finds the opening, and that is it. The Vikings getting swept under the rug. Down they are. So 2 easy elims coming through there for the side of Talon. Now a few more teams remain, as we can see. A few solos as well, right? 4YLC as well as HLE sitting on 1 apiece. But Voin Donkey looking good again. Talon with the 3 players up. Shields is going to be down. Vampire is sitting in a very similar situation. But Vampire is quite hesitant to move, right? They're not committing to pushing just yet. They want to see the teams dissolve a lot of this aggression before they choose to move in.
Absolutely, but I think they cannot wait here for any longer. The smokes are gonna fade away, and then their position is gonna get revealed. But yeah, Point Donkey's still trying to get the best area for themselves in the zone. Although they have Ish Ali in the close quarters, but they gotta watch out. Maybe Halal Citron, they have one or two players who will not try to make any noise unless and until they are forced to come out and try to take fight. But Vampire, they managed to get a good spot for themselves. Yes, the players are out in the open trying to take the cover from all the boulders and the vehicles that they have. But they have 6 elimination points and they're looking stronger than ever. Wine Donkeys, they're waiting for the zone to come here, and I don't think so that they have any clue about the position of Hitman. And I want to see where this guy is. I want to see where the solo of Halal Citron is, because he can definitely backstab Wine Donkeys, and he's going to be the main reason if Wine Donkeys loses his fight. He is going to be definitely the main factor. But Potato, look at him. He got damaged a lot, and he will probably spot him. I don't understand why he's not being able to spot Hitman, because any TPP angle from such height will give you the information that you need. But maybe he's not focused. Maybe he's focused on the other players who are fighting with him on the front side. And Rizik is now coming in. I think still Wine Donkeys has no clue, and this backstab is going to be deadly. But the situational advantage is definitely going to be in the favor of Team Vampire Sports, because they have 4 men standing. It's a 4v3v3 situation. A fight for the chicken dinner between Talon Sports and Vampire is going to happen. But Wine Donkey, they're ready for a third party, and that's what they've been doing from the beginning. They just wait for all the other teams to fight, and they do a third party. They are playing according to the zone, not overcommitting. Now that Circle is forcing them to move forward, they have to make their ways inside the zone. Hitman, no opportunities for him to, have a flashy play out there. Circle moves a bit far away from Wine Donkeys, and now Vampire Sports, they are also on the move. They're also on the run. They gotta watch out. Wine Donkeys is also there, but Lazarus will shut down Potato. He will give a shut-up call to him. Vampire Sports trying to make their ways inside the zone. Gazer, you gotta watch out. If any other player of your team gets knocked out, if you get knocked out with 2 players knocked out, Vampire will definitely charge then, and from one side, it's gonna be Vampire. From another, it's Talon Sports. Wait a second. Vampire made a blunder. They came in the crosshairs of Team Talon and Team Wine Donkeys.
Well, this could be a little bit of a problematic play now for them. We did take a look there at Hitman, and Hitman just wishing that they could get back up on the hill, but they do find the play on to Razak, so somehow miraculously they're managing to lock in the hits. But that is going to be the end of the road here for Halal Axotron. Down they go. Talon looking to push up from the southern side, but I don't think they are going to be moving all too much. He said it was a problem here for the Vampires coming under pressure, and now we can see that really playing out as Vampires are essentially almost down to a solo. Now, Point Donkey looking to get themselves into the action here as they start to move up. They've got a 3-piece, and there's still a lot of opportunity now for Talon to lock it in. It is going to be Razak getting picked on up. Down they go, so no carrying. Going to come in here from the Razak side. The rush is in, and Mueller pulling a move similar to ones we saw come through in the Matrix. Just managing to evade those vehicles rushing up on them. Now, Akul trying to smoke it up. Are they going to maybe attempt a little bit of something here? I mean, Vampire is already up to 11 eliminations, but down they go. The shots just flying on through, and that is the end of the road. Vampires out in 7 eliminations rather. Now, Point Donkey left with Gaykor again, right? Last time we saw Gaykor being the last player up. They came in clutch. They got that winner chicken dinner, but Talon not going to allow that one to happen this time around. As they come in, they close it off, and with that, securing themselves that winner chicken dinner. So Talon coming through with a beautiful read on the zone here. Really just knowing when to time those engagements. And it almost went south. It almost went south for them.
Absolutely. Wine Donkeys on the other side. They played beautifully. And Talon Sports, they got the better of Wine Donkeys in every other fight. The main advantage was not with Team Wine Donkeys in the last zone. And that's the main factor. Side by side, when two of the teams were fighting with each other, Wine Donkeys, they could have, just stayed away from all the fight. Circle was in the favor of a team, not in the favor of Team Moin Donkeys. It was in the favor of Team Vampire Sports and Team Talon Sports, particularly better. Vampire Sports was in a better position, but when they tried to move forward, when they tried to take elimination points, that's when they lost their players. But one by one, some back and forth trades. It was all a third party situation for every other team, because if Vampire takes one down on Talon, Moin Donkeys takes one down on Vampire, and then Talon takes one down on Team Moin Donkeys. So yeah, it just happened. It just happened. The MVP is definitely gonna be Yohin, because he was the player who moved forward when Miaola decided to commit and Miaola decided to lock in. He took two players down, and it was Yohin who, came in with the vehicle, with the buggy, shifted on the back seat, had the elevation, took down Miola and confirmed him. That's the reason why this team dominated entirely. 6 elimination points in total, 859 damage. Some brilliant numbers out there, some brilliant stats by this individual player.
Yeah, well played to them. But of course, we've got to take a look at the points. There's going to be 23 coming through here for the side of Talon. So a very, very good run indeed. It's going to be 12 points then getting distributed over towards the side of Vampire Esports. Voin Donkey, even though they might not have had the craziest run, they still managed to secure themselves a glorious 11 points. It's going to be R3G then coming in hot off the press with 8 eliminations, but not a single placement point. So just pure aggression that they were able to capitalize on for this game. Halal Axatron also going to be finishing strong then on 7 points. And then we take a look at the rest of the board, right? The points extend quite well all the way to Skyforce, who will also be walking away with 3 points. Then 1-for-1 DRS picking up 1 point apiece. And unfortunately, Tribaramacy, Nexary, and T2K going to have nothing but bubbles to show for this last match. But it is what it is. And, well, Talon, they've now flown up in the standings all the way into second place, an 8-slot jump.
Absolutely. What a brilliant position by Team Talon Sports. The last match was the main reason. They had close to 8 or 10 points in the previous matches, and now with a big chicken dinner with good amount of elimination numbers, they have 31 points in total. Vampire still, the decent performance is there from their side. They're on the third spot. Moin Donkeys was here from the very first match. Then we had DRS, who was on the first spot. Moin Donkeys was on the second, but now DRS is on the fourth spot. Unfortunately, this game was not a good game for them. In previous 2 games, they decided to do a drop clash, and that's the reason why they're in top 4. Maybe if they could have avoided it, they would have been in the top 3. For YLC, same thing happened with them. Although they did not try to go in any drop clashes, but the rotation was not on time. They suffered the players lost because of the zone, and then when they rotated inside the zone, that's when they lost their players. Vikings Esports, I guess they also need to step up big time. Champions Sports, they're not getting any points. Triber Messi also, they were on the 6th spot, and now they're on 8th or 9th.
Yeah, it's an interesting shift that we have coming through here. I mean, again, right, you want to try and keep that consistency under lock, because if you don't, you are going to slowly start slipping off the side of these standings. I like what Halal Axatron are doing here. Yes, they didn't have a fantastic game with regards to points. 7 points, though. It's still going to look quite comfortable for them, as they will now need to try and see, can they bounce all the way up into the top 9? If they keep the consistency going, it could very well be doable for them. And of course, the entry into the top 9 is not that high. It's only 16 points. So Bandit could make their entry into that. 1-for-1 could have a run. RRQ as well as Halal. In fact, anybody on this page could look to get that job done. I think for T2K, so far, I don't quite know what was happening on their end, right? They've been running into quite a few teams in those early stages of the game. It's happened in 3 matches. So we want to see them have a little bit of a turnaround coming into the final Erangel of the day. Want to see T2K secure some points, right? I don't know why they haven't, but hopefully this last match on Erangel will be that opportunity for them to do exactly that. But you got to give the credit over to Talon. They've been doing a phenomenal job so far. Things are looking pretty good for them. But we got to see what Game 4 has in store for us.
Absolutely. In this match, Turca lost their fight against Team A1 Esports. That's one of those surprises that I wasn't ready for. I mean, A1 Esports, they did not have a lot of good fights from their side. They were struggling in the previous stage as well. But now that they're eliminating T2K, it clearly tells us that they have so much so many skills to show, so many skills set. Skills set. I wanted to say skill set, but I just fumbled a lot. So yeah, they need to show their skill set and side by side. They need to work in their placement as well because the rotations are not good from A1 side. But RRQ, another team who struggled. They had 4 points only in the previous match. Skyforce, they are also not playing up to that expectation. The points table already surprising us with Vampire Sports coming in, Moin Donkit with the consistency. So I think that's high time that everybody realizes that after 1 or 2 bad matches, you will definitely struggle on the points table. But what's going to happen in the next match? We'll find out after the short break. So stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move into the final. Aaron Gale, of course, also the second half of the day. First 3 matches done and dusted. We've seen different teams step up. We've had some pretty brutal zones come through as the game was just not holding back anything, right? 2 back-to-back Aaron Gales ended on the military island, both of them ending on opposite sides of that island. So
Absolutely.
I think it's fair to say these teams here, Aladdin, are really being put to the test to see, 1, can they swim, 2, can they float, and 3, can they fight?
To be very honest, these circles were so difficult. I saw Esports World Cup. I casted a lot of matches, and none of those matches had the same zones or even close to that. So the real trust is here definitely in Nidoma Asia Showdown Season 4. As well as $1,500, and everybody's trying to have their, lion's share. But side by side, you need to qualify for the grand finals, and that's what everyone wants to do from here. This is the last chance. Moving onwards, talking about the last match, the Talent Sports, they played brilliantly. They had 23 points in total, and all because they had 13 elimination points. And although they had some challenges from Vampire Sports, Wine Donkeys, in the last moment, Wine Donkeys, they did not have the zone in their favor. Talent Sports, they were quite comfortable throughout the match. They tried to, gatekeep a lot of teams, but in the last moment when they were forced to come out from those compounds, that's when they struggled. There were a lot of solos trying to survive. Halalik Zitron getting some placement points, but these placement points are not going to get you enough points in the points table. You got to work on those eliminations side by side. And this is a message for Team Nixbury, T2K, 141, Skyforce, RRQ, and even esports, because all these teams, they do not have very good spots. They're not comfortable. They're not looking comfortable in the points table.
Yeah, and they need to ramp it up, right? Because this is the last stretch of the day. So whatever the teams can't pull off in today's games is going to become increasingly more challenging moving into the final 6 matches then tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, if they want it, they're going to have to go get it. That's the only way to do it, right? I mean, nobody's going to give you points. You're going to have to earn those points. You're going to have to get aggressive. And that's the thing about this region is if you're not aggressive, good luck. Because you're going to have a pretty tough time securing points. Yes, you might get some placement points, maybe if you're lucky. But most of the time, the answer is no, you're not going to get anything, right? You're going to get picked up, shipped out, and off you go. That's it, done and dusted. So you're going to have to double down. I mean, look at Regicide, for instance, right? 8 eliminations in the last game. They capitalized on that aggression. Unfortunately, not being able to find any placement points, but it's okay because they got points on the board. And now coming through with this flight pass, starting us over on that Stolper side, heading down towards Quarry. A nice little bit of a shift, but we'll find out if it's going to be a good play for these teams as we are yet to see what that zone is going to be bringing in.
Absolutely, side by side, those drop clashes are going to be there. I mean, I want to see some teams coming up against each other, but although it does not affect us potentially, it is difficult for you. You will not be able to qualify. It will be entertaining for us. We'll be happy whenever we see a drop clash. We'll be like, oh yeah, early on fights because we don't get bored. Otherwise, there are some tournaments where we're waiting for the fights and we're like, the fights are going to happen now and now and now, and they don't happen. So yeah. It's going to be difficult for you to recover from those early in fights. As you mentioned, you need to have those points in your tally because tomorrow it's going to be very difficult for you to get points. The pressure is going to be there. You only have 12 matches, and back to back, those matches will be played. In the previous days there were some groups who got a little bit of rest of a day. Today and tomorrow, you have no rest. You have no chances to have rest. You'll be playing matches back to back. But talking about early on fights, there's a fight going on in Yesaya. It's 1-for-1 versus Arani Sports. Talon, after getting a chicken dinner, are they going to face the same curse that we saw Team DRS facing? Because DRS, when they got the chicken dinner in one match, they got eliminated. They were the first team to face their demise in the very next match. So is it going to happen with Talon? Let's find out.
Yeah, well, it was probably because their bellies were full of all that chicken that they got. But look at Yasnaya Poliana. Yeah, we've got 3 squads now kind of all hot dropping in here, looking to see if they can get their share of the action. So we've got 1-for-1, we've got Talon, we've got A1. So any one of these teams could be the one to clutch it out. Champions Esports also finding themselves in a bit of a predicament as they are going, up against the players from Halal Axotron. Both squads looking to see, can they earn the points they need? Can they secure the plays? Ooh, Atomic, unfortunately, not having a S12K just yet, and that is going to mean that they will get taken on down. Baja going to be riding on the edge. Up comes Kino, keeping a close eye, trying to time the shot to perfection. Let's see whether or not 90 degree will allow them to do that. Kino could maybe come through with a bit of a jump shot, a bit of a cheeky play. Instead, sends out the utilities, trying to smoke it up to open up that entry point. And there's the first hit. Oh, but down they go.
Was that that's a beautiful gun, double barista. Looks like double barista, but Champions Sports coming up against Team Halal Exitron. It's a 1v2 situation, I believe, or 1v3. As Halal Exitron reviving the teammates, Hitman also on low on HP, but the pre-fire is gonna get the job done, and that's done and dusted. Champions Sports gets eliminated, and Halal Exitron, the team who was facing their demise in the previous stage, they were struggling so bad, and now they are making sure that everybody struggle apart from them. And C1, they get eliminated. Halal Exitron getting 4 points with all 4 men standing. That is brilliant. But moving on towards Yasnaya's side, it's 1-for-1 against one of the player of A1, or I cannot see the name. Yeah, it's A1 Esports, and look at this, the trades are going back and forth.
Yeah, these teams and players are pretty relentless so far. We are just looking at absolute chaos and carnage. A1 might maybe somehow live to make it through this. We're going to have to get K2 back into the fight as well, and that is exactly what 1-for-1 now did. But where will they go? Will they be able to find what is left of A1? Voltrax also just on that off-angle side. Talon, though, going to be keeping the distance as they commit a little bit more towards the western frontier, trying to just keep themselves out of harm's way, trying to play for that longevity. But if they find a vehicle, they could potentially be maybe looking to rotate up towards that Savini side, or just playing on the side of Rozok. Akul? No, that wasn't Akul. One of the other players here going for the bicycle, but there is the rest of A1.
Absolutely, there was the risk and side by side. You know, I need to know, where do you get this vehicle from? I mean, how can you put the cycle in your bag, in your pocket? That's a big question. Maybe they have a small light of Doraemon, or maybe something else. But yeah, moving on with A1 Esports, they lost their 2 players, and they did not win any fight. Yes, they won their previous drop clash. This time around, they decided to go to Yasnaya, and it was Talon Esports who got some elimination points on them, and then it was R3 1-for-1. It was 1-for-1 who got 1 elimination point. I want to know who got the 3rd elimination point on them. Okay, yeah. A1 Esports, they gotta be careful. Flash was AFK, now he's back. He's having some difficulties with his internet probably, because we have seen him going AFK twice in the previous 3 to 5 seconds. But once again, Talon Esports going on that vehicle rotation, cycle rotation, which is definitely risky, but fortunately, there's no one here to spot them. Fortunately, 1-for-1 was not looking towards their rotation, but the way your Johan is sitting on the back seat, it's kind of funny. It's very funny. That's how girls used to sit on the bike. But never mind. That's the only way.
I mean, if that's what the seat allows, that's what the seat allows. And I mean, it makes sense because it's really quick to get off, right? Especially moving up into a fight. Yeah. So you don't get stuck and you start running with a bicycle on your back or something, right? So for efficiency's sake, it makes a whole lot of sense. And now it's going to be Talon looking to capitalize on that efficiency as they push up onto Trix. The rest of the reinforcements from Tribaramacy are going to be looking to close this gap, and things are really heating up now for Trix. Let's see if they can survive as the rest of the crew now look to spring into the action. Delta and Rick flying through here. Oh, the shots are there, but will they get the knock? So far, it's looking good. Tribaramacy could definitely look to turn this fight around. Trix just being so thankful that reinforcements arrived when they did. But it's not over yet, right? There's still one more player holding up the top here, but down goes Yoru and Shields. The only one back in Yasnaya Poliana going like, oh, well, yeah, rip. Team is down. Let's try and survive. A1 also going to be holding steady with their duo just there on the side. But this is where things now start to quiet down a little bit up in Yasnaya Poliana. Not as aggressive as we thought it would be, but I'm also not quite sure why Shields didn't rotate up with the rest of the team.
I mean, he didn't want to get eliminated. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't rotate the rest of his team. But yeah, he was here. He's surviving. He probably was asking his teammates, "Why did you guys rotate? Because I'm here. I'm surviving. You could have survived too." But they are a skill of IT. Off they go, going on a vehicle and not a vehicle. What do we call it? Is this a vehicle? Because look at this. The skill of IT shouldn't have a steering on the name on the left side in icons. He should have I don't know, a rope or
He's just going
something.
old school. He's just going old school, right?
Just going vertical. The music was like dun 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 dun. But wait a second, Vampire Sports was there. They were trying to take him down, and they successfully did it. They are a skill of IT. He gets eliminated, and now all the players are trying to, just take the revenge. They're going to, maybe get themselves into this fight. But Vampire, they have no interest in this. They just spotted the player who was on that horse. They took him down. They eliminated him. Now they're falling back because that's what they wanted to do. So the intent is clear. They do not want to indulge themselves into a 4v4 fight. They will just maybe look for the weaklings and then try to focus on the rotation, which is good. I mean, it clearly tells us what's the plan of Vampire Sports. And now look at the circle. A southwestern shift is gonna leave Team RRQ, Wine Donkeys, and A1 Esports in a lot of troubles, but it's gonna give advantage to Team Skyforce, Vampire Esports, and also Halal Zitron. But side by side, look at DRS. They are getting close to the zone. They have the best area. If the circle goes towards the northern side, in fact southern side, they will be the happiest, and they can get a lot of elimination points. But losing Kill of ID is gonna hurt them.
That's definitely not something that they want to do or have happen to them. Let's see whether or not they can maybe find some kind of a response to that. Now, Xavier going to find themselves in a pretty chill position. The good spread that they have throughout Pachinki, no one is going to be venturing in there, at least not for the time being. Let's see whether or not DRS are going to maybe try and avenge their teammate. I'm surprised that they kind of just left the horse, right? It looked like they were going back to try and pick up that horse, but decided, you know what, maybe the horse is a bit too slow. Maybe it doesn't move too fast. So we'll rather go elsewhere. But this is also now where Ruin could come into play. We did see quite a few players on teams already taking occupancy there. I believe it was the Vikings already well situated in that region. And now with Skyfalls also not too far away from that Nexury, holding on towards the north. A1 moving up. It is going to be absolute chaos, carnage, and mayhem now to roll in. T2K also looking to step up. But hey, the good thing is T2K was not the first team out, right? It was champions. So T2K, this could be the turning point that they need. This could be that opportunity for them to actually secure a few additional points, to maybe even just get their first points for the day. Point Donkey just up ahead of Bandits here, so you got to be careful. It could be quite puzzling as to where exactly Voin Donkey will look to get themselves situated, but the pressure is on, and now the engagement starts.
Absolutely, Voin Donkey is going all in, all four players charging on one player. They have the squatters in control. Tenska is also there, but fighting from two different angles to two different teams. It's not going to look good. And look at this puzzle. Moves over, finds Potato, takes him down. Zed has also knocked out, but Hokia, he is going to take this 1v1, but this fight is going to leave Voin Donkeys to their demise, and now they are done and dusted. A team ace from the side of Team Bandit, and what a beautiful play by them. Gaker or Geso or whatever the name is, he also gets eliminated. Wayne Donkeys, they are not ready for this. They were not ready for this. Without getting a single point, they got eliminated, but here comes the third party. Bandit is also getting knocked out. The players are also down, all because RRQ, they decided to push. They decided to go all in. Look at this, two players are down, and it's a 2v2 situation. Bandit versus RRQ. Puzzle is there. He is also waiting for any of the players to come from the door, and he's waiting. He's gatekeeping this angle, this door. Look at this, RRQ, you gotta watch out, Puzzle is there, he has a shotgun in his hands, you cannot win a close fight with him, but Smokes is gonna go, and the fade, smoke fade is gonna happen, and Team RRQ gonna charge in. Lapar was the player who found Hokia, and Lapar is the player who found Puzzle. He eliminated everyone on his own, and before I was able to finish it, before I was able to talk about the smoke, he eliminated everyone, and he was like, wait, you're too slow, I'm so quick.
I just noted that billboard looks pretty cool. See whether or not Viking Superman is going to be able to find A1. We can see Sinister and Flash holding right there. So a good spread here coming through from the side of Viking. Of course, T2K also yet to do a little bit of something. They know they need points, right? If they want to stay in the fight, they're going to have to start to fight. But so for Voin Donkey, it's not the worst case scenario because they had 43 points sitting at the top of the leaderboard. So one match where they don't score points, it's not going to be too costly for them. But now up comes T2K. Looking for a bit of a sneaky play here. Ooh, it's going to be raining utilities all over the place. Aja. Just waiting patiently. What's the name here? Stream ready? There we go. Streamer's ready. I guess that's probably the name. Missing a whole lot of vowels over on that end. But Tricks and the rest of Tribe RMC keeping themselves nice and hidden, at least for the time being. But these nades are going to be absolutely relentless. Giante and the rest of the crew just doing a little bit of due diligence, making sure that that eastern side is clear, that nobody is going to come flying in behind them as they can now prioritize this engagement here with T2K. But for T2K, it's still going to be a very important fight. They don't want to fumble. They don't want to drop the ball. They want to keep their focus and just lock in. But so far, not seen too much coming through from their side. Let's see if this is going to be that position or that opportunity for them to do exactly that. Well, if they start off like this is not the way to go. Rules managing to evade the spray, at least for the time being. Trix is down. The opening play is there. AJ just patiently awaiting the follow-through as the reinforcements now come doubling down. Trix and the rest of Tribe RMC trying to throw out all the utilities they've got. They don't want them. They're trying to send them to T2K. It's like, here, take my grenade. It's yours. But I'm not quite sure it works that way.
I mean, T2K confirming their first elimination points. This is looking good for them. But fighting up against their own regional dominators, I mean, that's another good thing about, T2K winning this fight. But Giante, he is going to feel the heat of this Molotov Delta. He's going to feel the burns and the rashes. But once again, some heavy artillery fire is going to be there. But Delta, they need to move forward. Although T2K also, they're on the edges of the zone. But Triber Messi, they're getting the blue juice. They're getting the damage. And now the survival is going to be very difficult. But here comes a grenade in the face of Ajaya. Ajaya gets taken down. And this gives an opportunity to Team AST to push forward. And that is going to be another difficulty. But T2K, are they going to find the players of AST? The answer is a big yes. Because as Delta moved forward, he was knocked out. And the last man standing was also knocked out by Rose OG. And, a beautiful 1v2, which will conclude that fight. T2K will get their first 4 elimination point. Not just the 4 elimination points of this match, but the first 4 points of the entire tournament. Entire stage. So, Circle, moving forward. NX Esports, they have the best area for themselves. I think it's time that Team Next Esports, they show everyone what they're made of. It's time for them to have a chicken dinner. But Vampire Sports, they're so close to them. R3G trying to come back from the backside. Things are looking not good for them. On the other side, it's Team DX and Superman is going to be found. He will be dealt with some kryptonite bullets. And MBK, where are the other players?
That's a good question, right? We'll find out where this one is going to be taking us to as Lamborghini now starts to move a little bit closer. 1 for 1, go down. After 4 eliminations, not a bad run. Beautiful strafing here coming through from Lamborghini, getting a little bit cheeky on these spray downs. More and more squads. Oh no, just getting absolutely obliterated. We're down to the final 9s. Team Talon fall to Nexary. I love this aggression.
Oh my god, what a peak play by Lamborghini. It's like peeking right and peeking left and left, right. Left, right, I know. That was brilliant.
Jiggle.
I mean, yeah, jiggle. Wiggle. That was wiggle actually, but never mind. DRS is here in front of us. One of the players knocked down, eliminated, and this happened with him in the starting phases of the zone. But now it's DX versus DRS. Although DX, they don't have the minute advantage, the 2v3 situation here. Example, trying to move forward with the vehicle. You gotta watch out. There are so many teams out there. On right side, it's T2K. On the left side, it's Halal Exitron. It's gonna be very difficult for this team to survive. They gotta watch out for all those sprays and bullets that T2K is gonna throw on them. And now look at Master Zodi. The position is compromised, and he had no idea about. Why can they not, spot the smoke that is here? Example, his position is now compromised. You gotta watch out. One good spray and you will be knocked out. But on the back of it, a fight between Vampire versus R3G is also going on.
Yeah, some magic smoke coming through. It's only visible to the player. It hides them well, so well that the opponent doesn't even spot it. Now, T2K looking to double down. 6 eliminations. They are trying to bounce back. They've already jumped up into 17th position. If they can continue with this momentum, it will be a really good match for them. Now it's going to be DRS feeling all the heat. 2 players already down. Cyclone gets swept up and down they go. DRS out in 9th. This is a beautiful play. T2K up to 9 elims. Almost hitting the double digits. They are getting so close to it, but Rules will need to patch themselves up. 3 eliminations are great, but it's not that great when you're doing that from in the lobby. Now, Igneous looking to see if they can come through with a little bit of a response here. Quickly trying to retaliate, keep the players there from Skyforce at bay. They're going to have to get that res, bring AJ back on their feet, and keep the team strong, keep their numbers up. Sanchir, though, is going to be looking to apply the pressure, rushing up from the edge. The rest of Skyforce now committing to the push here. It's going to be Igneous on the front line, coming through, going in hot. S12K, but
no way, Rosoji.
Self-made is going to be locking in the hits.
I mean, if no one else can take you down, Rosoji, he can. I'm not talking about the opponents, I'm talking about the teammates. And Master 30, he have to, now sum up this whole fight. He needs to revive all the players. He needs to make sure that the team survives. But in the meantime, a grenade from Godless side is going to end this fight. But this grenade will fall short. The smoke was there. Thank God the smoke was there on Skyforce side. And look at Master Zerd. He's going to move forward. A beautiful grenade by not Lamborghini. By Godless will take him down. Once again, Ajaya, he does not have enough time. He needs to heal himself and then indulge into that fight. Godless trying to put that heal on. It's full HP from both the side. Master Zerd is going to get eliminated as Godless is going to confirm this elimination point, and now only the solos can survive, or maybe they will also get eliminated. But look at Ajaya. He knew that circle is going to move. He knows that it's not more important to take a fight, it's important to survive, and now he is moving inside the zone. But in the meantime, Raleigh got eliminated. How did that happen? Okay, it's Riley, not Godless. Godless is still alive. He's still in the fight. So the circle is prioritized by T2K. Ajaya, 12 elimination to the name. I mean, this is classical T2K for you. In last 3 matches, they had 0 eliminations, and now they have 12.
Yeah, they're trying to get all of them, right? They're really trying to let everything out of the bag in game number 4. It took them a hot minute, but here they are. And we only have 2 squads with more than 3 players, or 3 or more players, right? Next 3 is going to be the one, and then it's going to be Halal. Access Tree coming through with a full squad. So exciting turn of events that we have coming through here as the teams continue to keep everyone guessing, even their opponents. No one in the clear just yet. Let's see whether or not Ajaya is going to be able to come in clutch here. That solo play is going to prove to be quite challenging from here on moving forward. But Godless also just riding on the ridge. So there's still a bit of an opportunity here for Skyforce to maybe get a little bit of something happening. But it's all going to ride quite heavily on what this next zone is going to bring on in.
Absolutely, but Ajaya still trying to get those survival points, but he got to watch out. Godless is trying to hunt him down. A grenade is coming and through the same window, and Ajaya, he had no idea that Godless knows his position. Now, once again, he's forced to move backwards, and he's forced to, try to pull those survival strat off. Once again, he needs to deploy at least a smoke so Godless realizes that it's not easy, but Godless wants to hunt him down. He is becoming the hunter. But let's see, what is he gonna do? Once again, Ajaya moving on the basement area, and now he needs to move forward. Godless still trying to charge, and with all that barrage of utilities, and he's not being able to connect any of them. And now Ajaya will hunt down the hunter. This is beautiful. Once the god was down, although Godless was coming here all in, his adrenaline was so high that he was not even, realizing that he can also get eliminated. And once the god was down, Ajaya took the advantage. And now Cardinals gets eliminated, 13 points to the tally. This is brilliant by T2K. They have the zone for themselves. They can hold on here, but T2K is looking for some placement points now.
Yeah, and this could be exactly that opportunity for them. Ajaya is going to be carrying the team with 5 eliminations, quite a bit of a contribution being secured so far. So let's see. I mean, Ajaya might even be the MVP for the match, right? As you can see, sitting with the most damage so far, 1,600 damage. Holy goodness, that is absolutely crazy. So we might have T2K, just absolutely skyrocketing their performance here. Lamborghini is going to be doing some patient waiting, just trying to assess what the zone is going to be bringing in. But looking at Halal Axatron, it could have some other intentions there for them. Demo is going to be sitting on high, just looking to play off of Everest. But for next week, it's actually, for the time being at least, a decent position. So here we go. See whether or not next week can look to bounce back. Will this be the game in which we see a strong finish from their end? Because again, coming into these late phases, if you have the numbers advantage, you could definitely look to capitalize on it. But it's all going to rely quite heavily on what Halal Axatron are going to be looking to do with the remainder of this lobby.
Well, to be very honest, next week they don't have anyone to the backstab. The backside is clear. R3G was there, but they dealt with them so beautifully. Now the entire focus should be on the fight of Halal Axatron and Team Next Week. But side by side, there are some solos who will try to, spot the players of HLE down, and maybe if they spot the players of Team Next Week Sports, they will try to create some troubles. But Ajaya, he's so close to HLE. Halal Axatron, once they try to charge in, once they try to move forward, they will deal with the solos first. So you can see the map. Look at the left side, the western side, where Lamborghini is going to spot the players of HLE first. And then on the right side, it's T2K Ajaya. So Halal Axatron, they need to deal with the solos first, and then they can focus on Team Nextry. On the other side, Nextry, all they need to do is stay alive. All they need to do is just stay away from all the possible contentions. And if Circle goes toward the northern side, if Circle goes towards the next esports side, in 10 seconds, we're going to find out. If this happens, it's an easy peasy, lemon squeezy chicken dinner for Team Luxury. But they're just waiting. They're just holding on. They're not making any mistake. The position was real and compromised. But yeah, they're going back to the cover. And once again, look at this. The heavy bullet dodge, heavy bullet connection was there. But the Circle is gonna push back towards the solo side. And look at T2K's player. He is so happy. He is celebrating. He's jumping, clapping, because he has a compound where the Circle is, but next esports is charging in there.
Well, they're going to have to get that charge secured. The zone is going to force their hand, as we've got only a few more seconds left before we enter the zone 7 closure. But now, Halal, they're not going to be looking to go too crazy just yet, right? They want to see if the opportunity could present itself. But I like this 2-2 split coming through from them. It does open up the angles, does really work in their favor. And Apex being so distant from the rest of the crew is going to be a little bit more challenging. But I think for Apex, they need a little bit of luck by their side, right? Demo could hold their own up on the hill, and it does seem like luck is now going to start to move on forward. It's going to be Ajay now sensing that there's somebody moving in close. Will this be that defensive angle? Will we see the clutch play? Will Ajay rather be able to secure the 14th elimination? Could that win a chicken dinner be on the horizon for them? We do say goodbye to Lamborghini as they ran out of gas. Very unfortunate. But now this is the opportunity for Nexry and, of course, Halal Axatron to show us what they've got. I think the best turnout here would be for Ajay to hope that both these squads find each other, they get the engagements going, and then Ajay can come in clutch and just clean up this lobby.
Absolutely, but HLV, they're trying to charge in. Halal Axatron, they're trying to make their ways inside the zone. Lamborghini, he was told with it's a 1v4v3 situation with Team Halal Axatron. Their first fight is going to be with that solo, T2K solo, and then they will try to fight with the last 3 players of next esports. Utilities are getting cooked from both the sides. You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out. Those grenades are gonna hurt you so bad. But look at the position of Demo OT. He's waiting for any of the players to come out. If someone decides to, move from the different side, from the western side, move from the back of the compounds, they will face their demise. And all because the players of Nexter Esports are not moving forward. But the zone is gonna go back to Team Nexter Esports. They have to wait now. The elevation is there. The map control is there. Nexter, they don't have the man advantage, but they have the circle.
Well, this is exactly that opportunity that you would hope for. It's going to be the end of the road, though, for T2K, as Ajay is not being able to survive. And down goes Apex as 90 degrees sends in the molly. This is going to be the floodgates from the opening. As Halal Axatron, they've not given up just yet. They know they have the numbers advantage. They can figure that out by looking at the number of players that are still remaining within this match. And now with the knock onto Apex, this could be that turning point. This could be Halal Axatron coming in hot for that winner chicken dinner. Let's see whether or not it's going to be on the cards for them. Now, Demo, Luck, sitting on high. Ooh, up comes the rotations. Halal starting to move forward. Apex slowly bleeding out. Not too much happening. But an interesting spread here as Luck is going to get pushed on. Halal moving straight on forward. Mad Cat could be on the receiving side. The molly's coming, or the nades rather, coming in really close. Is Mad Cat going to find the spot, though? The nade beautifully cooked here as Luck is on the money. The shots are in. It's 90 degrees. Trying to come through with a response, but instead gets shot in the head. Now it's up to Hitman to see if they can clutch this one out. They are going to try and quickly just bring their team back on their feet. Now, is Demo also looking to get mobilized, looking to move on forward. Again, the nades rain on down. It's a 2-for-1 special. Demo and Luck trying to turn this match around, and so far, it seems like it's on the cards for them.
Absolutely. Once again, Demo looking for that opening. Situation is down to a 2v1, 2v2 in fact. It has to be Team Nexter who is supposed to win this because they have the height advantage. But look at Demo OG, he is just gonna charge in, and the buggy tries to change the seed, but he was just buying time to his teammate, and Halal Exatron will win this chicken dinner for themselves. And what a play by them, what a beautiful execution. The minute advantage was definitely in their favor, and that's what they utilized to the perfection. I mean, one of the players was moving with the vehicle, he was just baiting out for the other players, and Halal Exatron, what a beautiful chicken dinner by them.
I mean, it almost cost them the chicken, right? It was a very, very close call. You got to give it up to Luck, though. Those grenades were absolutely amazing. So much accuracy and causing so much carnage, making it quite difficult for Halal Axatron to come in clutch. But at the end of the day, they were able to pull it off. Beautiful, beautiful strategy here. So Halal Axatron getting their second winner chicken dinner for the entirety of the event. Of course, their first one right here in the last chance. And what a beautiful way to get the job done. I mean, and it's a good day so far for Halal Axatron, right? They got 7 points in the previous match. If we look at what they did in the game before that, only 1 point. So it was about time for them to kind of ramp up those overall plays. And yeah, I think they are going to be feeling quite happy about it.
Absolutely, they are going to be feeling happy because before this match, they had probably one or two good fights, but not a good match. But now they have got a chicken dinner, so they have every right to celebrate. But moving onwards, talking about the MVP, it's gonna be Luck, who is playing beautifully. 4 elimination points with the tally, 1118 damage. Some golden numbers out there and the golden performance, but Nexter Esports, they stepped up big time. In match number 3, they had 0 points, and even before that, they did not manage to get good numbers. But this match was a brilliant match by them. They had good amount of elimination points, and side by side, if you talk about the survival instincts were also there. Although in the last zone, they managed to survive till the last seconds, but yep, I think the man advantage was the main reason why this team lost the last fight. Specifically, those grenades from the side of their opponent, those were some beautiful grenades, and they were not ready to face those grenades. Italy, Halal Exatron with 18 points, and T2K with also 18 points, all because they had 13 amazing eliminations.
Yeah, again, as we spoke about it earlier, right? Aggression does pay off if you are able to capitalize on it. So a phenomenal turnaround coming through here for T2K, going from donuts to 18. That is 18
Phenomenal.
times more than what they had. So this is looking pretty exciting. But now we see Nextry also stepping up here with a 12 points. D Xavier coming through with 9. And the points can trickle all the way down to where we see 4YLC closing it off with 3 points. And then we've got Talon, Viking Esports, and A1 picking up 1 point each. DRS, Voin Donkey, and Champions having a little bit of a tough run this time around. But, you know, it's gonna have to happen to someone. But for DRS, we'd love to see them maybe ramp it up a little bit, because they've got 26 points in the last 2 games. They've not really been bagging that many points. Only 1 point between the last 2. So not much of a change, but a big change for Halal Axotron, jumping 9 slots all the way up into 4th.
Absolutely, a big jump by Halal Exitron, 27 points with the tally and all, because they had a chicken in the previous match. And moving onwards, it's DRS who's going to go 1 point down. They're on the 5th spot, and 6th we have 4YLC. Another change in the points table is in terms of Team Regis side coming up on the 8th spot, but that's not a huge jump. That's not a big jump. They managed to get some elimination points. That's the only reason why they're on the 8th spot. But I guess Team T2K, that's the team I want to see. Where are they after the previous match? Because they played beautifully. They managed to get so many elimination points. They had 0 points previously, managed to get 18 in 1 and jumped right from 18 to 12. That's a big jump. That's a huge jump by T2K.
Yeah, it's not quite a 0 to hero, but it's a 0 to near, right? They are very close to that top 9. Just one more game, and that could see them gaining their entry into those qualifying slots. Only the top 9 teams will move through to the grand finals, so the pressure is going to start to build. And I mean, nobody is safe, really, if you look at the point situation, right? 43 for first place, 8 points coming in on 18th. So all of this could quite drastically shift in the coming few matches. So it's going to be quite important for the teams to keep the focus, to ensure that they prioritize a phenomenal play. And in doing so, they could sit right here on the Winner Chicken Dinner board, sharing this, of course, with DRS, Voin Donkey, Talon, and the players coming through from Halal Axotron. So, yeah, the first 4 exciting matches have been wrapped. And with that, we have only 1 map to go, which is going to be Miramar, but we still have 2 games left to play. So it's going to be interesting to see who will look to shift into high gear as we approach that desert. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on the shoulders. But of course, before we get into that, we are going to be hopping into a break soon as well. I'm sure I heard that. Yes, there we go. We are going to be heading into break. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you right back on the other side. Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move into the desert as we are heading into our first Miramar right here in the last chance. It's our first one, but our after this, it's going to be our third to last Miramar, right? Only 4 Miramars are going to get played out, so that means the pressure is going to be up, especially for the teams that like to take the chickens when it comes to the Desert Showdown. But I'm curious as to who will be the one to do it, because we've seen 3 teams yesterday securing themselves those winner chicken dinners. Only 2 of those teams have made it into the last chance, so I'm curious whether or not we'll have a repeat, or will there be a few new contenders looking to rise up?
I mean, it's always nice to see new contenders coming up and, showing some skills out there. So I also want to see some newcomers from the bottom of the points table. I want these teams to make a comeback, because today we have only 2 matches left. If you're not on a comfortable spot, if you don't have 30 to 25 points in the first few matches, it means that the struggle is definitely going to be there tomorrow. You want to qualify, you have to be in the top 9. The point of contention on the points table, it's definitely going to be somewhere around 45 to 55. So you got to have some good amount of points for yourself. And if you're struggling and if you're not playing good, Miramar can be a match for you, because when the terrain changes, the potential of showing that those comebacks, it increases. Most of the times, whenever the terrain changes from Erangel to Miramar, we see a lot of teams stepping up big time.
Yeah, we definitely see a few teams stepping up to that. I mean, Viper KO stepped up quite a bit yesterday in the last Miramar that we had, coming through with 18 eliminations. Before that, we saw DRS securing themselves 14 eliminations, but dropping off a little bit in that last stretch of the day. But I want to see a potential comeback, right? I want to see the teams look to double down on those efforts, as we are going to be hopping straight into it. As we said, no team is safe for the time being. A lot of movement can still occur with regards to those overall placements, but we are going to be starting up to the north of the map, heading right down into the lovely Los Higos, to that far southern side. And I think it's a fairly decent flight path. Not a crazy one, but definitely a fairly decent one. Seems like the PUBG gods decided, you know what, let's maybe be a little bit more gracious to these teams.
I believe the flight path is not the main problem. The problem was always the circle. In the previous 3 matches, we saw the circle was so difficult for all the teams to play. I mean, specifically those Erangel circles moving towards the military side. 2 circles went there, and the third one was on the Mount Everest side. So circles are the main reason why the teams are facing a lot of challenges. But let's move ahead. Let's talk about the drop fights, because teams are they're hoping for those early on elimination, early on aggression. And once again, Skyforce versus one for one going on one side, and on another it's DRS versus some other team. And look at Skyforce getting all confirmations one by one on 1-4-1.
And only one at a time, right? You can't get them all at the same time. But yeah, it is what it is. Ooh, that zone though looking pretty decent, taking us right up into Impala. I mean, decent for us, not that great for the teams, right? Because it's going to be a pretty tough one to play through. But yeah, we really enjoy these ridiculous zones. It is really testing these teams to see, can they hold their own, and who will be the ones deserving of getting those top 9 slots. Now, DRS, they've already lost one. Cyclone got taken down. I think there was maybe a bit of a dust storm or something that got kicked up. Let's see whether or not DRS can now clear their vision, follow through. Nexary as well as R3G, 1-for-1, and the players there from Skyforce going at each other, 1-for-1, the first one down. Now, who will be the next one up? It's going to be Halal also going at Bandit. So several points of contention all across this map.
Absolutely, R3G was also in a fight with the team NEX, where NEX player are taking the players of R3G down, and R3G was knifing the players. So Bandit versus HLE, Halal is also in a fight for YLC versus RRQ. I think 10 teams are fighting with each other in the first few minutes of Miramar. What's going on? Here's Kilobyte is in a bit of pickle now. He needs all the cover that he can get from the backside, but wait a second, MVK, they do not care about anything else. Will try to make make a move, and on the back of it, Break is also ready. Look at the kill feed. Bandit concluding their fight with Team LHLE. Halal Exatron is getting eliminated, but wait a second. R3 is also trying to make a move. Apex is knocked and finished. DRS, they have lost one player. They haven't get any of the players knocked out or elimination number confirmed. So it's a 4v3 situation here. Grenades are coming in, grenades are popping in. Let's see if there's any of the knocked that team DRS is going to get with those grenades. But Halal Exiton, they're still not eliminated. They're still showing some signs of life. Break, he is the one with one elimination number confirmed. And Vikings, they are ready once again to get those numbers up, but DRS, are they going to allow them? That's a big question. In the meantime, DRS, when DRS is fighting with Vikings, R3G gets eliminated.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very challenging play here. But now Vikings, they could get this one in the back potentially, as you said already. That first elimination being secured to them. Superman now getting ready to fly again. Will they need to take a little bit of a run up? We'll definitely have to dodge the grenades flying in your direction. But Superman right there alongside one of the DRS players gets a quick little trade-off as a wound comes through with a saving grace. Bandits will now have to pack their bags and off they go. The next team to leave. Let's see what the Vikings are going to be able to pull off here. Will they get the jump on DRS? DRS trying to hold on for dear life. It is going to be Molly's flying in, spreading out the flames and lighting them up. It's going to be Example getting dropped down and the final player up. Oh, down they go, and no opportunity for DRS to even get a single point. They've just been absolutely ransacked, and now RRQ could be the next team to follow through. 4YLC, they're going to be focusing up on Skyforce.
Absolutely. Another team who is struggling. 2 players lost. One of them is also AFK. It's like, I don't care. We are eliminated. I don't want to stay in this match. I want to go somewhere else. But Skyforce, they challenged 1-for-1. They eliminated 1-for-1. Are they going to eliminate another team? Look at the elimination points. They have 6. Okay, they're 4 to the tally. Where did 4YLC lost their players? But wait a second. Some sprays are going to go on Team Skyforce from 4YLC Spunk, and none of the bullet connections are going to be there. And Bipin on one side, Punk on another. They're trying to gatekeep this team, but they will not be able to do that. Skyforce, they gotta watch out. There are some solos who are waiting for you. There's a duo who's waiting for you to come out, to lose your guard, or maybe just go all in, and they will be ready to punish you. On another side, it's T2K who's trying to find some players in the outskirts.
Well, not like that. You're not going to find anyone if you're lying on your roof, right? Unfortunately, that's just not how vehicles work. And you're going to have to try and turn it the right way up or get it off the rock. I don't know how they manage. Okay, so the one car is stuck on a rock. The other one is upside down. That is, some phenomenal driving skills that they are showcasing here. They know exactly how to make it exciting for themselves, right? It's definitely quite interesting to see how they traverse the territory, but it does seem like they don't have too much of the pressure coming in alongside them, as they are in Impala. We don't really see anybody else over there, at least not for the time being. RRQ though, so all the way back at water treatment, so a big concentration of the lobby all went over towards that more western front, anticipating that the zone was going to take them in that direction, but Impala is going to be the place to be. Nuga now starting to rotate up. Let's see if there's going to be any opportunity for engagements here. I think this is one of the few games, aside from the Carnies that we've had already, where we get a little bit of a moment of silence, right? There's not any crazy engagements coming through just yet. Yes, we had a few hot drops, but that's over now.
Absolutely, all those hot drop clashes are over, all those skirmishes are over, and in that case, 5 eliminations were seen. 5 teams got eliminated. Team 1-for-1, R3G, Bandit, DRS, Halal Exitron, everybody got eliminated, and there was one team, Nextory, who was left with the last man standing. So I feel like not just one, but a lot of teams, they faced their demise all because they wanted to get early on elimination points, and teams are here, they wanted to maximize their synergy on drop fights. So it's gonna help them in their coming tournaments. But Talon Esports, A rotational fight is going to be there from their side. They are keeping a team. They are looking on some players. They're trying to take information, and then they'll probably try to charge. And there's one thing about Talani Sports: they will never push all in. They will never go all in, Golo. They will wait for you to make a mistake. They will wait for you to give them information, and then they will decide to pick your players one by one. So that's a good thing. Whoever plays like this will always be seen on the top, because if you use information to the maximum, if you be careful, that's what battle royale games demand from you. That's what they demand, and then they reward you with points. But for now, the circle is gonna go far on the eastern side, because I knew it. But this time around, it's a southeastern shift. Puerto Paraiso, some islands are also in play. If it goes towards the island side, it's gonna be a messy circle. It's gonna be quite a menace. But talking about the menace, it's gonna start from the northwestern side, where Team Skyforce is gonna be against Team Wine Donkeys. Now it all depends on Wine Donkeys if they try to gatekeep Team Skyforce, or will they focus on their rotation. Looks like they want to focus on their rotation, because the circle is already too bad. They do not want to make it more worse with a fight during rotation. But talking about the rotational fight, MVK will find some player, and this time around RQ's, I don't know what the name is, but RQ's player is gonna get eliminated, all because he was the solo here.
Yeah, we had to play with a lot of O's. Now we've got to play with a lot of letters. I know it spells the name, but I also can't pronounce that. I'm just gonna call them something. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Lazarus, though, is gonna find a bit of an opportunity. Igneous also gets the spray onto Flash. So again, the chaos is gonna be coming through here. But that zone absolutely brutal to the teams. Let's see whether or not Lazarus and the rest of Vampires are going to get to flush in onto A1, as it's going to be CJ Boy trying to defend the honor of the squad. CJ Boy goes down, Flash gets run over, and A1 gets sent back empty-handed. Unfortunate play here for them. Now, down with 12 teams. Teams are still trying to trickle up in towards the zone. It is going to be Impala, where we can see T2K just there on the edge, moving about, looking to see if they can get a good lineup here. Good setup for the teams ready to rush on forward. The Xavier also trying to cram themselves up, but it's going to be Vampires on the welcoming committee. Very excited to have them now move a little bit closer to the zone. Boing Donkey also in the background, but Mueller gets spotted as Igneous from T2K locks it in, gets the confirmation, and now the carnage is going to continue to roll. We had 5 teams drop in 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes, we had 5 minutes of silence. And now we are going to have more chaos coming through. Riley gets found as Zeta locks in with that beautiful mini hit.
Absolutely, many 14 shots are coming in. Some beautiful, some crispy aim delivery was there. Skyforce Riley is knocked out in the open. A revival is going to be difficult, but Wine Donkeys, are they going to push forward? Skyforce, they were showing some brilliant eliminations out there. We saw them coming up against 1-for-1 and dominating in that fight, but now can they continue their dominance? Because Wine Donkeys probably will not allow. And look at this once again, Sanchir finds the same fate and he gets taken down. It's a 3v2 situation. Gaker, you gotta watch out. You gotta be careful, because it's not gonna be easy. But Wine Donkey's potato gives the cover. Icy gets taken down, and look at it, one by one all the players are knocked out, and I see why. As he is knocked out, Skyforce is left with the last man standing. Wine Donkeys, what a brilliant show of skills, what a brilliant show of consistency. The wraparound was there. They had all the crossfire angles set up for their opponents, and even though Team Skyforce was in a good situation, it was a 4v3 situation, yet Team Wine Donkeys managed to eliminate them. But the circle is gonna go far more towards the southern side. Another southeastern shift. Puerto Paraiso is the area. Talani Sports is there. Team Triber Messi is also entering the city side. So I think both the teams, they have the best area for themselves, but Talon's gonna watch out. You cannot allow Team Triber Messi to go all in.
I think a team with a good read here was going to be the players there from Champions Esports, right? They just rotated straight to the south, where all the other teams went for a slightly more northern approach. And this, of course, has led to all the chaos that we've been seeing just unraveling on the screen here. But it does seem like that zone is quite thirsty today, right? The Desert Sun just bearing down on it, and we are pretty much focused in on the water. But now, Vampires, you're going to have to find a way to get out of this sticky spot because they are still far away from the zone. Still have a bit of ground to cover as Impala is now well in that blue zone. And I'm not quite sure if Vampires are built to take this much of that blue juice. In the meanwhile, Superman showing off with the vehicle, coming in with a quick little cheeky trade there, doing a quick swap around, but that is not going to be enough. Fancy moves will not get you eliminations. Instead, it is going to be the Vikings now getting absolutely picked apart. But let's see whether or not Talon are going to be the one to take a break here. Of course, those confirmations could come through very, very soon. Now, oh, yeah, things are looking pretty grim as the Vikings get shipped out. Down they go. T2K, though, in it here, still with 3 eliminations up, and they've got a nice quiet spot up towards the northern edge of zone. Now Champion springing into action as Talon comes wandering forward. Axel gets dropped right then and there. Very quick and efficient here by Bulger.
Absolutely, C1 Esports also trying to show some skills out there. Look at this, Talon Esports and C1. They will try to fight in a long range with Mini 14 on one side and M4 on another. But Talon Esports are going to realize that it's not easy. And look at the call. A shot was delivered right on the head, right on the money. And Balcha is popping some heads out there. He is just showing some crazy skills. But look at the kill feed is also going on. Vampire is coming up against T2K. And T2K seems like the last match was enough to give the momentum that they needed. But Vampire will charge in and Pyrogen gets eliminated. Pyrogen, in fact, eliminated Vampire Sports. Sorry, I'm really sorry. And Vampires, there is no more blood for them to suck. There is no more elimination numbers for them to confirm because Pyrogen is going to come in. And it was Jin's versus Vampires Esports. You know, Jin is also an entity. But on another side, it's RRQ versus Team Next Esports, and another Dominator, another table topper gets eliminated. They were playing so brilliantly in the last match, but no more good matches for them. They have to, make a comeback in the last match now. But on another side, it's Team C1 Esports. But C1, they have to focus on the rotation. Circle is moving forward. DX, the fight with DX can wait, but the circle is not going to wait, and that's what Team Champion Esports is focusing on. They are rotating, they are avoiding the fight, but once again, as they realize that there's a beautiful ridge, and DX will try to, go all in, and this ridge will give some cover. T2K, Team TF. Why do players change their their names in the middle of the tournament? C1 Esports. It's C1 Esports. Why do you have a TF in your name?
Spelling, eh? It's a silent T, it's a silent F, it's a silent Q, and a silent 6. Yeah.
TFQ 66I. Is this
the first 3 letters are all quiet, right? They're silent. You don't say them. You just skip them and move on to the rest. But the pretty exciting match that we are looking at so far. 7 teams remain. Tribe Eremacy here on the edge are going to be looking to lock down the beach, looking to see what they can do here. Maybe they'll build us a few sandcastles or something along the way. But it's going to be a tough fight from here, looking to climb your way back on through. You see Talon riding up on that hillside. It is going to be D Xavier now laying quite heavily into the side of T2K as they've been brought down to a solo. Tribe Eremacy, nice and quiet. Not going to be looking to do all too much just yet as they keep their distance here. 21 points, 1 elimination so far in this game. Up comes Ajaya. Oh, they... in a consistent pressure position. This is exactly what Ajaya is doing here. We do see Godless up to the north there as well. Also, once more, the final player left for their squad. So, always interesting to see how these things pan out. But now, D Xavier looking pretty good. I mean, they've got 4 eliminations up. They've got 4 players. And it seems like they've got all the momentum, especially with Lamborghini now starting to kind of just rotate around.
Couple of solos trying to pull off those miracles, but side by side, the fights are going to go. The fights are going on. Look at the whole top. There are 2 teams coming up against each other, and utilities are being cooked, grenades are being cooked. Talon Esports, they are still holding those compounds, and we have seen them doing this for a while now, but DX versus C1, that's the fight that we were talking about. Some grenades are coming in, but Lamborghini, he is going all in those vehicles, and that's a bad move. One of the player was also knocked out by the beautiful grenade, and Doxy eliminates Lamborghini. Some self grenades are also coming in. In fact, he knocked out his own teammate, and that is not a good thing to do. C1 versus DX. Now Levas is the last man standing, and on the other side it's T1 with all two players standing tall. Balja wants to fight Levi's. TF is also alive. It's a 3v1 situation. Atomic is bleeding out, but they have to deal with Levi. First Levi out in the open with a shotgun and a leap of faith, but nothing is gonna matter as the last bullet is gonna connect from TFQ's side. And look at this, C1 confirming 3 elimination points, but what a blunder by Team DX. What a blunder. You cannot throw a self grenade in such fights where your survival is so important. You could have been in a top 3 after surviving this fight. You could have had more elimination points, but never mind. Thanks to the beautiful grenade by your own teammate, DX gets eliminated. But now the rotation has to come here from the side of C1 Esports, because they are outside the zone. There is Talent spawn in front of them. They have to find another way because Talent cannot be breached. The compounds cannot be breached so easily. You gotta find another way to move inside the zone.
Speaking about the zone, there's not much of it, right? We're pretty much in the water. So again, we're going for a little bit more of an aquatic playthrough here. Unfortunately, we don't really have those hovercrafts here, so it's not going to be that easy to defend. Now, Shields trying to see if they can do a little bit of something, trying to see if they can prevent Champions Esports from gaining entry into this next zone. But this is where the odds could get turned on its head, right? Try Baromacy. Out on the beach, we can see those shots flying up towards Talon. So whichever way it goes, Talon are going to find themselves in a potential sandwich. Kino and the rest of Champions now starting to push on forward. Balja is going to be keeping the pressure there, taking and maybe tanking a few of those hits, trying to see if they can get shields to use up the ammo. Atomics also just riding on the ridge. Didn't see a S12K just yet. But there could still be a little bit of magic about to happen here as Talon, very active, not going to be backing down, not going to be sitting down waiting for C1. Instead, they will try to welcome them from as far away as they can.
Absolutely, but C1, where are they gonna go? They are getting so close to Talent Esports. Axel was eliminated, but utilities are coming in from Team C1 Esports side. You gotta watch out. Shield is in a good position. He has all the information. He knows where the players are. Atomic is left in the backside to give any cover if the players decide to come out from this compound. The player on the backside will definitely provide that beautiful cover, but Talent Esports, look at them. They are in the compound, but they still have some vehicles secured, because even if they win this fight, they know the circle can go for another eastern shift, another southeastern shift, and maybe they will have to use their vehicle. So, yep, the pre-planning is there, but they gotta win this fight. TFQ breaching their compound. The smoke is there. If the smoke fades away, the position is gonna get compromised, but he dropped the smoke on purpose because he wanted to play in it. He wanted to get information. He wanted to get a good angle to throw some grenades, and Team Talent Esports still waiting. The patience is there on both the sides. Smokes are still getting popped off to deploy any virtual cover. Akul and Kino, it's a 1v1. Akul faces the shotgun of Kino and he gets taken down on the back of it. The grenade comes in on Atomic, although an elimination point is also being confirmed. But C1 Balja was that player who took one player down. Yohain, responsibility lies on your shoulder. Shield's position is also good. But are they going to face the players of C1? It's a 2v3 fight, I guess, where Team Talent Esports, they have the disadvantage now.
Well, let's see whether or not they can clutch up here. It's going to be Talon holding on to the compound. Champions absolutely relentless, looking to see if they can get the job done. Atomics now could come back into the swing of things, and this is an opportunity now for Talent to move up and get the wipe, but they can't see through the smoke. Unfortunately, the grenades though are going to connect on up here to Shield. Does take quite a bit of that health away, and this is Champions now back up to a 3-piece. This could be that turning point for them to push through and get the wipe, but unfortunately it's going to be Kino to get dropped now. Atomics and their teammate Baja now having to see if they can find a way through the carnage. Shields, good overwatch, nice tight position on the high ground, but is it going to be sufficient? Because that blue zone is going to move up pretty soon. They've got 2 minutes left on the clock. Can they wrap up this fight, and can they get themselves repositioned Oh, the res was there, but Tricks all the way from Tribe Hermesy reaching up from the beach, causing trouble now for Champions. And see whether or not Yoroyoen can
Oh
get
my
this
God.
place secured. It is an absolute just shooting fest. Leads flying all over the place. Balja now hitting that domination. And Yoroyoen abandoning their post. Down they go as a quick, cheeky, sneaky slap comes through all the way from La Par.
Absolutely, Lapar all the way from the compounds. He is trying to get some elimination points confirmed, and he successfully did it. See, when esports, they're happy. They're celebrating. They've won this fight. Although it was their hard work side and alongside them, there were so many other teams who were trying to participate in this fight because everybody wants their fair share on the elimination numbers. But unfortunate, Talon Sports they were here from the last 15 minutes or so, but yet they got eliminated all because there were some teams from the main island who decided to participate. T2K Ajaya, now his position is also compromised. The circle is going to move forward. He's a solo surviving. There were some solos. I guess Godless is eliminated, and now he's the only solo that's left for probably Team C1. Because if Team C1 tries to move towards this container or towards the compound, they will definitely found Ajaya. RRQ on one side, AST on another, and Team C1 is also moving from the top side. So we have a 2v2v 1v4 situation. Tribe Messi to have all the potential, all the minute advantage, everything that they need, but a beautiful grenade comes in by Balja right in the face of Ajaya. Ajaya gets eliminated. This will give Team C1 some opportunity, some elimination points, and it will also clear their area. It will also clear their, the gatekeep that was there by the last man standing of T2K. Where Tribe Messi, they won their hands on the chicken dinner. The circle is in their favor. They have the sure side. Everything is in their favor. And look at this. The circle also goes backwards. C1 have to go for a slamming. They are not inside the zone anymore.
Well, let's see who's going to be the one to lock it in now. The final showdown is imminent. Our squad's now looking to see who's going to have the beach for themselves or who will look on from that lobby. Tribe Hermesy, as you've said, they've got the numbers advantage. They've got a strong position here. Can they leverage that? RRQ, though, could maybe present a few challenges to them. But I like this coming through from Champions, right? Very cautious, very quiet up on the ridge as they try to reposition, trying to find a way in. Balja now moving up. Atomic also coming in hot. Where will they go? Because there are no real compounds left to move into. A lot of them already occupied or under very close scrutiny as the teams are getting ready. Nuga, La Par getting ready to bounce. Just setting it up. Not quite having the line of sight that they need to defend should they get rushed. But this is where the opportunity lies quite heavily now in the hands of Tribe Hermesy, right? They've got the position, they've got the front line, they've got the numbers, but will they have the reaction time? Will they be able to be quick enough to take everybody else down and claim that victory for themselves?
Absolutely, that's the biggest question here. Tribe Messi also trying because they have the minute advantage. They cannot lose it. It's a 4v2v2 situation. If you try and fight with those duos one by one, you can definitely get your hands on the chicken dinner. But C1 is not going to do that. If you lose one player, things are going to go get messy. And you don't want to like it. You won't like it. You don't want to do it. Reg is still waiting. No position given. No sound cues given. Kante has a beautiful spot. If the circle goes far towards the southern side, all day will be, it will be done for everyone else. All they need to do is wait now. Balta coming from one side. Delta has the position advantage. And look at the circle. It goes away from every other team and move towards AST once again. Not the first, but probably the fifth circle that is going to favor them. But Delta, his position is going to get compromised because Balta, look at Balta. Delta's going to be careful. The TPP advantage is with Balja. You cannot hold here. You have to find a hard cover.
What hard cover? There's not much, right? Like the hard cover that's there is all occupied currently by Tribe Hermesy. So, the remaining players are trying to do what they can. Balja Just riding that ridge. Could maybe be a way out of here, but it's going to take a few extremely well-placed nades to close this one up. Belgium now starts that momentum. They get the play. 2 players go down. So Triggs locking in another quick response there over onto the side of RRQ, while the rest of Tribe Aramacy now moves over to get themselves back into the swing of things. So Rig keeping up that frontline defensive. Atomic managing to sneak into the building. A beautifully distracted Delta coming through here. But is that going to be enough? Right, Champions down to a solo. Atomics, they could maybe at least find a few more additional eliminations, but I don't see them getting that winner chicken dinner. The odds are just so stacked against them. But up comes the push. Atomic is going to be cooking up the nade, prepping for a bit of a charge here. As you can see, Tribe Aramacy moving up here. They know that there might be a little bit of something, but Atomics has the S12K in hand. You got to watch out. Don't push in just yet. Oh, it's going to be a very, very risky play. But, of course, with the engagement down, the chase coming in on the back of the players there from Champions, this does give RRQ the opportunity to get themselves back on their feet and ready for the fight. Atomic, though, not going to get down without a fight. Up comes Riggs with the nade. Is this going to be a quick? And it is indeed Rig on the money. Now it's RRQ looking to move up, but they've been spotted. This is going to be Tribe Aramacy looking to claim that winner chicken dinner.
They have to dodge all the grenades, and grenades are getting cooked by RRQ. You gotta watch out. You have eliminated one trouble, but there's one more ahead. A grenade comes in from our ASD side as well, and this will leave Lapar on that half HP. Look at ASD. They're charging in. Blue from one side, and from another, it's ASD that's gonna get their hands on the last man standing of RRQ, and ASD. Tribe Aramacy will get their hands on the winner chicken dinner. How beautifully this team executed. They had the circle advantage. They had the man advantage, and they utilized it to the perfection. They did not made any mistake. You know, they knew that there are some players who can have some nasty shotgun gameplays, but they dealt with everyone with those beautiful grenades and beautiful utilities. Everything worked in their favor. So here comes ASD, standing tall with a beautiful winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, I mean, it was no surprise to see them really coming in clutch with that play. A phenomenal turnout here for them. And it was about time, right? Tribe Aramacy could definitely capitalize on a few additional points coming their way. But what a way to close it out. A strong finish. They kept all players alive to the very, very end. And I mean, this is going to do wonders for them with regards to the points, right? Coming into this match, they were sat in 9th place with 20 points to their name. Now, they have a whole bucket load more. So curious to see exactly what the point situation will be for them. But you also got to commend the efforts that we saw come through there from Champions, right? They kept the pressure up. They made it so difficult to get the full send on them. But we are going to be looking at our MVP. It is going to be Godless coming through with 6 eliminations and nearly 900 damage getting secured. So still a very, very impressive play. Even taking into consideration that all the teams were dealt with a super dirty zone, right? Heavy east shift. And for the longest time, a big portion of that zone was just over in the water.
I mean, ASD, they knew where the circle is going to go. Although one of those circles which can be very difficult to play, but Talon Sports and ASD, they utilized the circle advantage to the maximum. But Talon, we can't say that they made a mistake when the circle was going towards the last stages. But moving onwards, we have to talk about the match rankings where Champions Sports going to get 11 points and ASD, the Dominators, will get 16 points. They did not get many elimination points, but yeah, the chicken dinner was there. Skyforce with 11 all because one of those players were trying to step up big time. They won their early on skirmishes where 1-for-1 was there. Then they had probably Team Next Esports in front of them, and they eliminated them as well. So, yeah, 1-for-1 also deserved appreciation. But Skyforce, RRQ, they played brilliantly. T2K, once again, coming up with 9 points. Seems like that one big performance was enough to give momentum to T2K that they needed.
Yeah, they lit a little bit of a fire beneath themselves. They're like, you know what? Let's just go, right? The first 3 games, it was a little bit quiet, a little bit dormant, but T2K, as you've said, doing what they need to now to try and keep themselves in the fight. But the big question is going to be, will it have been enough, right? Will these teams be able to secure enough points to ensure that position up in towards the top 9? Tribe Aramacy, I think it is safe to say that there's a very high probability of that being the case here for them. As you take a look at the points, it's going to be Talon now moving up into second place. Tribaracy jumping all the way up in towards fourth. Champions also then flying into that sixth position. T2K also stepping up with a 4-slot jump all the way up into eighth place. And we've got a tie up at the top, right? 39 points to both Talon and Vampire.
Well, the tie here is clearly tells us that the competition is there, but side by side, talk about Wine Donkeys. They have 48 points. They did not get any point in the previous match. It means the domination was there before the previous match. In 4 matches, they got 48 points, and that's the reason why they're on top. Talon Sports coming up against them, but there's still a lead of 9 points. And probably Wine Donkeys will not try to, give them any room. They will not allow Team Talon Sports or Vampire Sports to cover up this lead, because if they do that, then the competition for the first spot is going to be in contention. Side by side, talking about the Tribaracy play. Previous match was brilliant by them. They are playing beautifully in every other fight, in every other match. They also jumped 5 spot. They're on 36 points. Then we have Champions coming up on the 6th spot with a 4-spot jump, 30 points to the table.
Yeah, we've got to love it for them, and so good moves being brought through. But look at that, Skyforce also moving up 5 positions, RRQ moving up 4, and it's going to be a pretty contentious spot on the edge of zone. So we saw DRS coming through with 26 points. We've got 4YLC with 26 points. We've got RRQ with 26, Skyforce with 26. So a 4-way tie. That is going to be a very, very interesting one to look at as we move into the final match of the day to see who will be the teams and where will their positions be after the first 6 matches. After this, only 6 more to go. Right, that's it. That's the last chance for them to secure the points that they need. And I can tell you, it is going to be a pretty hot and heated play.
Absolutely, but even esports 1-for-1 next 3, they need to step up. But 1-for-1 specifically, they need to get away from all those drop clashes. In every other match, we see them getting elimination points or getting eliminated early on in the first 3-4 minutes, which is not good. I mean, you cannot do that not in this stage, not in any other stage. So the last match is going to be there. Let's see if any of these teams realize that it is going to be difficult for them to survive from the drop clashes. Although Skyforce versus 1-for-1, if they keep on this drop clash, that's the team from their own region. If you have a drop clash with some other team who is from Southeast Asian or any other region, it is going to be good for you. But if you take a drop clash with a team who is going to be against you in PMSLs, it is not good for the long, for any other tournament as well. So we'll talk about it after the break, but we'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, stay with us.
Welcome back for the last match of the first day of the last chance qualifiers for the Asia Showdown Season 4. Well, that is a mouthful, but hey, that's where we are. We're getting ready to see what the teams can bring in for one more time. My name is Zika. I'm joined by the amazing, the great Aladdin, as we're getting ready to see what the teams or rather what they will have in store for us. I lost my own words there. I was so swept away with my own introduction. Who knows what is going to be happening next? Of course, hopefully the teams have some pretty good ideas or indications as to what we could be expecting to see for this final match.
Well, that's a little bit of exaggeration from your side, the great, the amazing Aladdin, but it's okay, it's all right. I felt like the Spider-Man, the amazing Spider-Man. But it's time for this next match, match number 6 of the day, the last match. All these teams are on the bottom of the points table. They need to make a comeback because if they don't do it now, they will not be able to do it tomorrow. The pressure is going to be there, and it's going to be so much. The pressure is going to be so much that they will not be able to play good tomorrow. So they need to have a good match. Talking about Halal Exitron, Bandit Esports, Regicide, 1for1, 4YLC, every team needs to perform. But there's one team who was performing previously and now they're struggling. That is Team Dingoes. What's going wrong with them? In every other match, they manage to get 4 or 5 points, which is not enough. We need to see them dominating. We need to see them performing. 5, 7, 6 points will not get you on the first spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't settle for a medium play. You're gonna have to go all out if you want to get those points secured on board. So the pressure is going to be on. Who will be the ones to climb to the tippity top? We'll see now as soon as we have a good idea where that zone is going to be taking us. But the pressure is riding pretty high. Teams now looking for the opportunities and angles to get themselves situated. Interesting play, though, coming through there from Void Donkey as they take that southern play. No one there to kind of contest them, so they're going to have a very comfortable start to the day. But let's see where the zone is going to be taking us. Are we going to be taking an aggressive shift with the zone? Is it going to go to that far eastern edge like we had in the previous match? Or will it take us a little bit more back into the interior? Are we going to head in towards El Pozo or the potential surrounding area? Of course, only time will tell. Well, the answer is just no. We are instead going to be looking at a Los Leones zone, so very complementary to this flight path. Teams find themselves in an interesting setup here, but who's going to be the one to rise to the occasion? I mean, it's not too far from what we had coming in that previous match, but the pressure is going to be here, right? It's going to keep them on their toes, and it's not often that we see Los Leones be this hot and heated, but Void Donkey, they're not alone. It's going to be Tribe Eremacy sitting in Partona right here with them. So already a very contested start. Who would have thought that Partona would be this hot? Potato keeping it nice and quiet. Going to try and sneak their way up onto the edge. Pretty sure that both Tribe Eremacy and Void Donkey are well aware that there is going to be some contestation here. Somebody can walk out of this with eliminations. And another squad is just going to have to look on from that lobby. At least for the time being, the Zoran is not going to force any crazy plays. Let's see who will be the one to get it bagged up. It does look like Potato is already kind of in a bag. So maybe that could be some kind of an indication. Not quite sure. All the way up in towards Hacienda del Patron is going to be where DRS is going to be calling home for the time being. Meanwhile, back up in Los Leones. A1 alongside the players here from Bandit. We've got D Xavier also sharing the spot, but look at that, CJ rushing in, and yeah, such an aggressive push. Down they go.
I mean, they have the idea that someone else is also there, but what a grenade by Hokia, a 1v4 with a beautiful grenade, with a single utility. This is amazing, and he still cannot believe it. He thinks that somebody is on the top floor. There is no one here. You just eliminated everyone. You can feed on those grades, but you cannot do that any longer. There is Team Dingoes who are coming in. They're also charging in. And for now, Dingoes are looking very hungry. They're looking very thirsty. So you gotta feed them on your own crates, or maybe just do the same thing that you did in the previous fight. But can Team Bandit replicate the domination? Although they had the advantage in the previous one, this time they have no advantage. All the disadvantages are there. Dingoes versus Team Bandit. The burst is there. The execution is perfect.
Well, will it be perfect enough, though? This could be another beautiful third-party play coming through from D Xavier. The rush is in. Basel getting absolutely bamboozled as they get taken down. Out they go. 2 eliminations going to the side there of Lamborghini and the remainder of D Xavier. T2K now going to be feeling a lot of heat as they're down to a 2-piece. Igneous and Rules, the final 2 players left to carry their torch. Now DRS on the opposing side looking to play the upset is going to be Killer YT, just riding on the edge here, patiently awaiting the charge now. Rules moving up, keeping quiet. DRS, though, still sitting with a few players up. They already have 1 elimination. Killer YT looking so confident. Doesn't even bother to take a weapon out. It's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. I can take you on with my bare knuckles. Let's see if this play is going to pan out for them, though. Rules OG, you got to watch it out. That Tommy gun could definitely pack quite a bit of a punch, but up comes the rest of the DRS. Rules goes down. Igneous. Are they going to be able to avenge their teammate? Will they rush in? Will they take the engagement? Will it be a 1v3 fight? So far, it seems like Igneous is down to wrestle. But will they be able to survive it, though? Champions Esports also going to be the next team to fall, and the pressure is on. Ooh, the beautiful back and forth. But will DRS clutch it out? They're so close to getting it.
Absolutely, Igneous is here, the last man standing. Maybe not the last man standing. Master Zerdy is also here, but he was about to take one down. He landed a shot perfectly, but here comes the last man standing, who also got eliminated by example. Everybody was taking their 1v1s, but what a blunder by T2K. You got 2 players eliminated, you can fall back, you gotta fall back, but they were not even focusing here. They just wanted to leave the lobby. And that's what they did. Off they go. DRS with another elimination point, but here comes another fight. It's Dingoes coming up again.